Hello, everybody. Oh man, it's good to be back. We're back, baby. I missed you guys. I missed you. I missed all of you. So good to see you all. So yeah, everybody, welcome. It's Lost by the Fandolver. We were back on we were off on a forced hiatus. The short version of this is just remember to back up even your backups. That's the short version. So, but yes, thank you for joining us and welcome. And again, it's so good to see all of you again. Can't wait to jump into tonight's game. It's going to be fun. A few quick announcements, and then we'll get started. So tomorrow's Wildmount campaign won't be starting till next week. So tonight we'll have tonight's Lost Mine game. Tomorrow will be an off day, and then Friday we are going to be jumping right back into Friday Night Magic for the Magic the Gathering Arena release of the Forgotten Realms set. I am so freaking excited for this Forgotten Realms set. I am going to be in costume to celebrate this.
I already built a Mithril Hall deck that I just need Brunor to add to and a few other new dwarves, and it's ready to go.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I will be opening up the 50 packs that it's sitting in my account just waiting to be opened tomorrow. I will actually be opening them up on Friday night stream to see what kind of goodies we might be getting in there. But at the very least, I am actually going to be starting out with the new Planeswalker card of Loth the Spider Queen. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, I can't wait to see. I've seen all of the sneak peeks of all of the Planeswalkers and the dungeon cards and everything. I'm super stoked. I can't wait to actually to just start building some decks and start playing. It's going to be so much fun. But yeah, so we're going to be jumping back into that, and yeah, continuing from there. Once again, every Friday for Friday Night Magic, every week on Wednesdays, Lost Minds, and every week starting next week, back on Thursdays to our Wildmount campaign. Next Monday, we will be at our session 5 of 6 of our Monster Hearts 2 campaign. That is going to, again, if you haven't caught up on what Monster Hearts 2 is, you can check out our YouTube page. We actually did like a little primer of what the game actually is, what the setting is, how the rules work. You'll actually get to see sessions 1 through 3. I will definitely have 5 up fairly soon. We lost 4, unfortunately, because of as I was saying about the forced hiatus and backing up your backups, the virus that essentially crashed my whole system and deleted everything that I had. One of those things was my recorded sessions. So unfortunately, session 5 is lost. Session 4 is lost. 5 we still have, thankfully, and then 5 is coming up on Monday. I'm sorry. Yeah. So only losing 1. You'll still get it. Again, I'm still recovering all of those things and building the overlays and all that stuff. But anyway, but Monster Hearts 2, our session 5, is going to be this Monday coming at 7:30 p.m. right here. So if you're interested in checking out teenagers who, not my players are not teenagers, but they're playing teenagers in the early 90s who also happen to secretly be monsters, please join. Yeah, eventually I'll get it straight. Yes, and once more, again, thank you so much to my mods, especially my super mod, Mama Shady, who is also my wife, my beautiful wifey, without which my head would probably explode, trying to get all of these things straight. And the very last thing I have before we actually jump right into the game is our inspirations. So, to remind folks or anybody who hasn't been here before, you can actually buy player inspirations using channel points. Each viewer has the ability to buy up to 2 inspirations. You can use those for either an individual player or for the whole group. Make sure you designate where you want your inspiration to go. We'll be tracking that as the game goes on. And the inspirations will help give advantage on roles that they might need coming down the line. You also have the ability to buy some inspirations as well. Each one can only buy 1 inspiration. A person can buy 1 inspiration for me because, it's a little, if you really want me to use, get advantage on my players, sure. We want to look, get a little saucy there. Yeah, that's fine. But you can definitely do that if you wish. So make sure to use those channel points. And if those inspirations go unused by the end of the stream, they will be refunded to you. So you will get those channel points so you can try again next week. Alrighty. Oh, we already got some inspirations going already. I think this is going to be a good night. So as it stands right now, it's looking like, hold on a second, while I get, that's the one thing I want to get up to make sure that I have it all set, is, all right, so right now, we have a Drovar inspiration, we have a DM inspiration, and we have a group inspiration. So we'll keep track of that as we continue throughout the evening. And again, thank you so much. And again, this is a perfect way for you to interact with us while we're playing the game. And as we begin our session, we're going into the Lost Mines of Fandolver. They're probably going to need it. So, last time we were together, you had finished up a number of tasks throughout the actual town of Fandolver for certain individuals. You were collecting on those rewards for those tasks, and you were able to gather not only some amazing armor, but also some additional magical implements to help you on your way. You were also able to get some possible introductions to certain groups. Two specific ones were the Harpers and the Order of the Gauntlet. But you were also in the midst of trying to finish what you started with Gundren Rockseeker, as he seemingly fully healed, or healed enough to actually accompany you to the location, the secret location of the entrance of Wave Echo Cave. Your druid ally, Rydolph, did actually supply you with some information that it seemed that there was some kind of scuffle, possibly some giant spiders in the area, but definitely blood on what it was now the blocked location of the Lost Mine. Upon making your way with Gundren to this location, you unfortunately did find that, yes, it was blocked, but purposely by Gundren and his brothers, with the use of some kind of warding magic that could only unlock the actual location with the blood of a Rockseeker, apparently. And upon entering the entrance, the large cavern entrance, you did find not only a number of what seemed like unused or abandoned supplies, but unfortunately you did find the body of his youngest brother, Nundro. After taking care of the body and actually pulling off a pair of magical boots to give to the group, Gundren then admitted that he was not 100%, and that he would probably be more of a hindrance than anything else to the group at this point, considering what, seeing the still body of his brother, basically bequeathed the boots as a way to help you. Took the body of his brother out back to the wagon, where he said he would actually stand watch and guard to make sure nothing left or came, but hoped that you would also not only clear what dangers might be here in the mine, but possibly avenge his brother and find his other brother, whether he be alive or dead, Tharden. And so that is where we are currently. You are in the entrance cavern of the Wave Echo Cave. Warple, you have kind of stuck your head down this large crevice, and in doing so, every maybe minute and a half to 2 minutes, you start hearing what sounds like strangely like thunder. Just coming, this is very, very off in the distance. But you can see that there is a rope attached to one of the stalagmites, and it is actually heading down into this kind of crevice. There are still some supplies, if you want to take a look through them and see if there's anything you might want to take with you. Currently, there are some sacks of flour, bags of salt, casks of salted meat, lanterns, flasks of lamp oil, pickaxes, shovels, and a few other what looks like just miscellaneous gear that may be needed in a situation like this.
Oh, the flasks of oil sound like a pretty good idea, at least.
Okay. So yeah, you can
Trovo,
find.
how many? Just it's been 2 weeks now. How many of us can see in the dark? Is it just me? Okay, lanterns too then.
I cannot see. Where are we? Wait, didn't I just cast light? I feel like I just cast light like right before this all happened. So
Yeah, you did.
Right
yeah,
now.
but yeah. So right now you are lit up, but like this, it's a stationary location. So I believe you lit like the tip of one of the stalagmites in here.
Okay, so I will light staff instead, so it comes with us. How about that? That seems smart.
Okay.
Is there extra rope, DM?
Yes, there are actually like 2 extra lengths of what look like 50 feet rope.
Hey, Bojack, grab one. I'll grab the other, and I'll kind of just like sling it over me, for like a sash.
Yeah, big old rope bandolier. You got it.
Okay, I take more rope.
I mean, if we're going into a cave, I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like rope.
Rope. How many flasks? How much oil is there if we needed to turn it into throwable flasks, hypothetically?
Okay, so there are 6 flasks of lamp oil, and you can see that there are 3 lanterns. So a normal flask of lamp oil in one of these lanterns would probably last you anywhere between 6 to 8 hours.
Well, I think we should bottle up the oil into things that can be, refill the lanterns or throw it if we need it. And it's not weighing anyone down. I'll take a lantern. I'm not going to need it myself, but I'll carry it. Wearing these boots seems easier to carry stuff, and I don't carry much as it is.
I do have 3 oil flasks already myself, but I want to hold on to those because they might be very useful for reasons.
Oh, all right. Okay, so if there's why not the remaining 3 of us each take 2? Just we got them handy.
Okay. Hey, put those in your inventory, no problem.
I have rope. I will grab 1 regular lantern
Okay.
and a pickaxe, just because I'm a dwarf.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, you can take one and you just shove it right in your belt.
I will also grab a lantern as well.
Okay. No problem. All right. So yeah, and we'll say that like you're kind of gathering yourself, taking in what's going on. For the purposes of Drovar attuning to the boots, we'll say that this is a short rest. So if any of you need to actually heal up in this time, that this is probably the best time for you to do that.
Are these hooded or bullseye lanterns?
These are hooded.
All right. Well, I guess you want to drop a light rock down at the bottom of this and we'll start climbing.
All right. So, climbing up or down. So who's gonna make their way down first?
I will. I have a climb speed.
Yep. Oh, yes, you do. Yeah. So you're able to just climb down.
Can I go in middle, please? Middle of others?
Here's the rope.
All right. So, Basha, as you start climbing down, I need you to make an athletics check for me, please.
As I just die from lack of athleticism. Oh, that was just a 14. Straight 14.
Okay. Oh, actually, no. You know what? Never mind. Since you're using the rope, I'm assuming you're using the rope. You should be. You're absolutely fine. You don't have to make the check. Yeah. So anyone
Thank
who's
goodness
not,
for rope.
yeah, Gorple is just he's a natural climbing machine. Like not a problem. But if you decide not to use the rope for whatever reason, then you'll definitely need to make a check for it. So as you all begin to kind of make your way down, you can see that there are actually 2 carved openings. One leading to the southeast and the other one leading upwards to the northwest. So there are 2 ways that you could go. Which way would you like to go?
Okay. One question. As a dwarf, I've got some sense of how rock is shaped and everything.
Mhm.
Do these tunnels look like carved, like they were tunneled out and this cave-in has revealed it, or are these like natural caves that have shown up? Have people cut these, or did nature make these?
I will say make an investigation check with advantage because of your background. Mostly your dwarven background.
13.
Actually it looks like a little of both, where there was some natural formations where rock has fallen away, but the entrances themselves, they both look actually recently carved open. So your best guess is that not only was this an entrance to get in, that probably the Rockseeker brothers began the process of kind of clearing things away and actually making entrances to go in.
In both directions?
In both directions.
Okay. All right. The Rockseekers started opening up both of these. It looks like it was natural before, maybe some work later, back when. I'm not getting a sense of either one being better or worse.
Should we throw a rock down one and see if we hear any skittering or chittering noises or anything?
I mean, I think whatever that reverberation is pretty loud. I don't think you're going to hear much besides that. Can I take a look closer to the ground? Because I imagine people would be landing off the rope and they might scuff dirt from the outside to see if there are any fresh tracks in either direction.
Make a survival check for me.
That's a 10.
10. Interesting, as you're the first one to actually make your way down, you begin to kind of search the area. As you're kind of looking, there's absolutely what seems like disturbances in the dirt and rock. These slight impressions of what look like footprints of some sort. But it's just so... it looks like it's just been disturbed so much. It's really difficult to tell how many people, who they were, which location, because it looks like it's coming and going from both areas.
I can't tell if which direction is best. It looks like it's both been traveled and recently or older. It's all muddled.
All right, well, let's
flip a coin, choose.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Bochek, you choose the direction because it is random, so just pick one.
Okay, heads or tails?
Tails. Wait, we didn't decide which way is which.
Tails is left.
Okay, thank you.
It is tails.
Left it is.
So west. We'll go northwest from where we are.
Gotcha. Okay. So as you begin to head northwest, and you start making your way through, as you are all now in this cavern, how is T getting down, by the way?
He has a 40-foot climb speed also.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. So easy enough. Just makes his way down. As you all kind of jump, finish climbing and are now in the location, and begin to make your way further northwest, you absolutely hear the sound of what again sounds like thunder in the distance.
That's not normal, right? Please tell me that's not normal.
No.
We know this is called the Wave Echo Cave, correct?
Yes.
I mean, this might be why it's got its name. I mean, that's generally a natural phenomenon you name things after.
Was it?
There's water under the ground. It can be in large enough amounts to, have waves. It is possible.
Okay.
All
All
so
right.
it's a good a cave with its own natural water source. You fight to the death for those. So
Yeah.
I think we should stealthily move through because we don't know how grounded or if they're expecting people.
whoever killed the first Rock Seeker brother, they're probably in here. So we got to be as quiet as we can. And be careful with the light going too far ahead. That's going to draw attention more than sound.
Okay. So I need everyone to make a stealth check for me, please.
I hope I follow my own advice.
All right. Basha, what'd you get?
15 plus 2, 17.
Nice. Gorple?
I got a 22. T got a 6.
Okay. Drovar.
10.
And Bocek.
15.
15. Nice. All
Nice.
right.
Watch your step. Could be. Sorry.
All right. So it is a tight squeeze. As you're going through this cave entrance, you do the tunnels itself that you go through. The ceiling is about 10 feet tall, but you watch as you begin to make your way through the tunnel itself, that the ceiling begins to actually kind of like, again, it's very jagged, it's very rough, but it generally stays between 9 to 10 feet tall. But yeah, you can begin to see, you can place yourselves in your marching order. And you can now see as it begins to open up, there are what look like a number of different openings in different locations in different areas. Warple, as you are the first one through, you can absolutely see to your right what just looks like the entrance, the cave, the tunnel does end in what looks like rubble, but immediately to the left of that seems to be another opening. I'll mark it for you right in this location. There's another opening. There's one definitely ahead of you right here. And to your left, it looks like there's another opening to your left and right at the end.
Drovar, I mean, I'm pretty good at exploring, but I don't really know underground well. So I don't know what the best way to explore an underground cave is.
Pretty much the same as above ground. You do more listening. Sound travels differently down here, bounces off of stuff. It's hard to tell sometimes where things are coming.
Well, I was more thinking of like is there like a left-hand rule? Should we just follow one wall in case it's like maze-like? I don't like. I generally use the stars to navigate my northwest, but I'm a little like down here. It's a little weird.
Well, you only get folks like the Wizard Mafia who are going to design places. You always have to go left. It's never that simple. But I think we pick a direction. There's the cave-in over there to the right. Yeah, let's head up to the cave-in and take a look and see if it's natural, or that someone was just trying to dig further, and then we'll take a look up. We'll start, and then we'll work our way counterclockwise around.
Okay, and I hop onto Teague so that I'm a little quicker.
Okay, no problem. All right, yeah. So as you get to that area, who has Basha has the light, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Teague has dark vision.
Okay, so as you get to the end of that tunnel, and you can see immediately to your left it does open up. There are more entrances. There's one here, about 10 feet from you. There's another one further up towards the end at the left and right sides. It seems like, this is you're starting to realize that this is probably a very, very large and probably very confusing maze-like mine.
Can I start to I don't know, I always carry my lipstick in my thing. Can I start to mark corridors that we've already been through as we're going through them and just put an arrow of which way we went and came from kind of thing?
Sure.
All right, so I kind of as we walk past the wall, Basha takes out from her Sune necklace that the red lipstick you always see her wear, and she just paints an arrow pointing the direction that we're walking now.
Okay.
This is so we can hopefully find our way back. I don't know.
All right. So that little red mark I just put there will act as your markings, if that's all right.
All right, I guess I'll keep going down this corridor.
Okay. I'll take one look at the cave, the collapsed area here, and just try to see, does it look like a dig in progress or something that collapsed?
Yeah, this you don't even have to roll for. This actually looks like it was a dig in process, and then it just stopped.
Any idea how long ago? Did the Rock Seekers work
no,
on this?
it doesn't look like the Rock Seekers did this. It looks like it's been a very, very long time.
I just kind of point to that stuff and say, I think this work was stopped when the place was abandoned. So this is old.
Curious why they abandoned it in the first place.
This was invaded by a whole bunch of things.
Right.
It was a fight to the death as far as I heard.
Yeah, that's not great.
All right. So as you pass certain locations, they begin to open up for you. So immediately in front of you, Drovar, you see that the tunnels do open up for you in front of you. And once again, there seems to be locations maybe about 10 feet from you, 15 feet, and further up. There are more ways to turn left or right.
Okay. I gesture for Teague at least to go up to the next wall ahead, and let's see if
I kind of look back. I'm like, I don't want to be caught by surprise. I think us having light is smart. With most of us not being able to see, we could try to stealth through this, but that loud echo covers a lot. I think we need the light. I feel safe.
No, I agree. We need the light. We just want to move more slowly. Tell you what, though, that sound seems to repeat pretty regularly. Maybe we just wait until it starts to rise up and then dash up to the next spot and try to use it to mask our sound.
I think that's really smart. So I'm gonna light one of these lanterns in my offhand, and I'm just gonna start moving and kind of waiting to kind of use the sound to cover our dashes.
Okay, and easy enough. And the sound, you're starting to get kind of the rhythm of it. It seems to be coming every minute and a half to 2 minutes, regularly. So you can easily do that. That's not a problem.
Okay, as he goes up there, I just want to come up to this corner and see, does his light extend, up this way,
So yeah, as you get there, yeah, absolutely. It seems that these two, at least over here, all of this seems to be connected.
Basha's gonna take out Jan for a second and be like, Jan, if I describe hallways, can you make a map?
Oh, well, that's not exactly what I can do. I can write down notes that are pertaining to your spells and research and things like that, but I am not what you would call a map maker. I am sorry.
Can I draw with pen in here? Will you get mad at me if I like ruin some pages with map?
I would be fine with this, but you would actually be ruining the spell enchanted pages of myself for your spells, and you would actually have one less page to write your spells.
I don't like that. Okay, I will just have to use lipstick markers and hope that's good enough.
You could draw on Bocek back.
I mean, I do have a pen. I feel like that would hurt, or I could do it with no.
I was like,
no.
don't
If
you have
sweat,
the
it's a wear
spare
off.
spell book you stole?
Not anymore, for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
None at all.
Right. Let's check out this next area.
All right. So, so Gorple, you've lit your lantern. You can see directly behind you. There is also a location to the left and right at the end where you could turn left or right.
There's a location behind us.
And
There seems to be some doorways ahead.
Yep, there's about 3 on your left, and the one that you saw Drovar come through before here, and another at the end.
Here's a thought, Drovar. Maybe we should just explore in a directional so that we don't get lost. So, like, we just continue moving northwest. Because we know we entered heading through a cavern that went northwest. I don't know. I just think it might be weird.
We got 2 choices here. We either continue in one direction or we try to check things that we otherwise leave behind. Like, I'm looking at this area over here. I don't know what's down that way, but if we go and anything is down there and comes up behind us, we're cut off.
Maybe we just like try to like get like whole sides.
Here, how about this? How about Basha? You go down the corridor you're in front of. Me and Drovar will go down the parallel corridor just to kind of see more of this area as we move, but we'll still stay within sight of each other's light, and we'll be only
stay
within.
with me.
Yeah.
All right.
Please.
Okay.
So right now, Gorple has a light. Basha, you have a light on your staff, right?
Yes.
All right. I'm just trying to keep track. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
I'm going to take one quick look right over there. Just kind of turn my head both ways just to see, like, you know, like what does that lead to? Because it looks like there's openings both north and south.
right. Okay.
I just want to kind of see what it reveals before coming back.
Gotcha. All right. Bocek, you're moving over. Perfect. Okay, you're right there by Basha. All right. So Drovar, as you move up that way to your left, you can see what looks like another end of a tunnel of the corridor that has fallen into debris and rubble. To your right, it opens up. And you do have night vision, so you can actually see what looks like more rubble and debris at the end of that tunnel. But there also seems to be some kind of entrance further up to the right, and also right here to the left. You'd have to get closer.
Yeah, I'm not getting that far ahead. I just kind of glance up there and go, okay, that's how far those go, and I will come back and we'll get back.
Okay, Warple. As you move through there, you did see this open up. And now, Drovar, as you make your way back, you can kind of see that probably does connect to that opening you saw before. So you can easily make that assumption. Are you moving a little further up, Warple, from where you were before? Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to move parallel to Basha, but I
Okay.
was also waiting for Drovar, and I was waiting for you to reveal
Yeah.
before
Also-
I conclude.
Yeah, also Basha, when she gets to the corner, she kind of like does this thing where she kind of like flattens herself on the wall and like rounds the corner with the light source, like, but not just like walking right in front of the door, you know?
Okay. So first, Warple, when you move up, you do see the corridor open up and what looks like some carved steps leading upwards, maybe about 15 or 20 feet going further up.
Okay, I'll make a note because I figure we'll meet at this turnabout in the center and then kind of discuss which way we want to go.
Okay. Basha, are you going to move up a little?
So, peeking around the corner,
You peek around the corner? Okay. Yeah, you see that it does open up, but then seems to turn.
Okay, just hallway, I say to Bochek as I keep moving.
All right.
I kind of yell across the, well, not yell, but like yell whisper across the corridor, like, there's hallway! Hallway this way!
We found stairs. Keep
Okay.
looking.
Okay. Warple, it opens up and you see what looks again like a dead end, but there's not a lot of rubble, but it just seems to stop at like heavy natural looking rock, as if it just ends there.
Am I getting any weird like feeling as we're walking through this hallway with my 10-foot blind sight? Like any movement that is not necessarily should be there?
No, not as of yet. Basha, as you move up, and I'm assuming you're just kind of like doing a little peek-see around.
Like holding the staff like around
Yeah.
the corner, like poking the staff around the corner first and then coming around.
Okay, to your right, it opens further up and just leads again further down. And you can see that, but to your left, you can actually see it open up into what looks like a doorway. An actual stone door.
Wait, to my left is in what's up here in the corner, like the
Yeah,
little white
right
dot.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found door, I say as I like come right up to where Teague is.
Oh,
I mean, we found stairs going up.
Maybe we check door first?
Well,
Or-
also there's hallways the other way. Should we finish clearing those hallways first, or
let me take a quick gander down that other one, that one you described.
yeah?
I get
I'll
the
move.
sense this was a mine. This could be like they explored veins of the ore they were looking for until the ore tapped out and they stopped digging. So I'll just go down to this corner and look down to make sure that it, actually ends in rubble or something. And
Sure.
Are there
Yeah.
spiders? I say.
Yeah. As you
What?
look,
ending.
as you look, yeah, it does seem to end in rubble once again.
It's just nice to know you're listening.
At least someone is, right?
What? I wasn't listening. Should I open this door?
I would check it for traps. This is a well-carved hallway. I'm sure the dwarves trapped it, or whoever made it. Let's be real here.
Okay, we check.
I'm going to look at the door very carefully.
Okay. Make an investigation check for me.
Try good news.
7.
7. Okay.
Looks great.
There is a group inspiration. Just reminding folks, let's see. We have a Gorple inspiration, two group inspirations, a DM inspiration, and a Drovar inspiration. So in case you want to use it or not.
Yeah, first roll we're in here. What the heck? We got 2 of them.
Okay. All right,
I'd
so-
say give it a go if you want, if you so desire.
It's up to you.
I have no objection.
Okay, 17 then.
All right. So you notice a few things. First thing is that you remember that this mine was run by dwarves, but this door is 6 feet tall. It's 4 feet wide, and it looks like it's made out of like this 6-inch thick cut slab of stone, and it's fitted with iron handles and hinges. It's low and wide, so definitely fits the wideness of dwarves, but also seems to be about the size of maybe an average human. And as you're kind of checking out the actual door, You swear that you hear something behind a door. And as you listen carefully, you can hear what sounds like crunching and splintering sounds.
Okay, guys, this door not made for doors, made for little humans. Also, something chewing on other side.
6 foot is not little for human. Just throwing that out there, Bochek.
This isn't entirely a dwarf place either, from what I recall. It's like elves lived here too. They don't want to bash their pretty heads in on the door frame all the time.
Yes, but look how wide door made.
Well, that's for us. We don't want to bang our shoulders either.
Should Bochek maybe open?
Well, if something's crunching it, our bones are probably tastier than whatever it's crunching on, so be ready.
Get ready. Jan, I pull out the book again. I'm like, Jan, let's get ready to go.
I pull out my crossbow. No, I have a lantern. I'll pull out my boomerang.
Okay, pull out your boomerang.
Boomerang.
Boomerang. Alrighty. So you also noticed that the door is not locked. There is no locking mechanism on this door, but it is closed, and you have to open the handle. Use the handle to open it up.
Okay, I open. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so you begin to open it, and it feels stuck just for like a moment, and then it just begins to scrape the stone of the door itself, just kind of pulling against what looks like about an inch or two of layer of old rock and dirt that's probably built up over the centuries. And as you're pulling it open, you look in, and it's definitely dark in there as well, but with the actual kind of like spillage of light from both Basha and Gorple, you can see old stone bunks against the edge of the wall, and it kind of lines the wall of this chamber, and there's this corroded iron brazier full of old and dormant coals right in the middle of the room. The bones of a half dozen dwarves and orcs lay strewn about, clad in scraps of armor and clothing. There are 3 gray hunched figures squatting among the remains, pawing at the scraps and gnawing at the bones. I need all of you to roll initiative as they look up and just
Ah!
Boomerang.
18.
all right, hold on.
Sorry.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
got real excited. I
No
was like,
problem.
I really want to throw that fireball in there and just be like, die!
Alrighty, so let's get this encounter go. That one. Alrighty. Gorple, what'd you get?
I got 10.
10. Drovar,
17.
17. Basha,
18.
18. Bochek,
11.
11. All right. And so, let's get some combat music going here. As you seem to have interrupted the meal of these creatures. They immediately look up at all of you, slaver just kind of falling down from their mouths. You can see fangs, sharpened teeth, many of them broken, as they are actually the beginning of the initiative. All right, so As they see you, they begin running right at you, Bocek. Okay. So the first one is going to, he's just going to, whoop. Oh no, that's not what I want.
No, you turned the lights out.
The lights go out. You are done. No.
Sorry, so sorry. We'll leave. We're leaving. Yep. The doors.
Yeah, this one is going to run right at you. And he is going to swing. With you see these these large broken claws. And it is going to, it's going to swipe at you with its claws. All right, that's going to be a natural 1. So as it comes rushing at you, it just kind of trips over some of the bones, and you watch as its claws just actually rake against the wall next to your face, and the claws just begin to kind of literally just kind of snap and break off of its hands, and it's just like this one this one actually is going to 1, 2, 3. You hear everybody make a perception check for me. Go check. What'd you get?
3.
3.
That.
Okay. Basha, what'd you get?
13.
13.
Not terrible, not great.
Okay. Drovar?
9.
9. Gorple?
I got a 7. T got a 22.
Okay. Well, if T could say anything to you, he would tell you exactly what Basha heard, because they both heard the same thing. Basha, you hear a sound as you hear what sounds like something running, and then you hear almost identical sound of Bocek opening the door, where there's this like loud stone scraping, but it's further south from you.
Oh, something opened the door. Something opened the door.
Yeah, Teague, Gorple, you watch Teague's head just kind of like, as that happens. The other creature jumps down, moves over here, is going to try and swipe at you. Is going to try and swipe at you through the door. You will have technically half cover, so that will increase your AC by 3. I believe it's 3. But it seems pretty desperate to want to swipe at you. Could be it's not getting its daily allowance of calcium in its diet. It's +2. It add +2 to your bonus. So whatever I roll, it's going to add +2 to your AC. So that is going to be, as he's going to take a swipe at you. Oof. Yeah, that's a 12. I don't think that's going to hit you. So it takes a swipe, and you kind of see the claw come out of the corner of your eye and through like the side of the door, but it just doesn't make purchase. It's just like right in front of your face, but not even making contact. Basha, you see coming at full speed around the corner south of you, another one of these creatures.
Oh, no.
As it uses its dash action and runs
What?
It runs full speed, like 28 Days Later zombie, just like
No, I hate those.
but it used its action to dash at you, and it's full movement. So just getting up to you was all it could do. But it's just coming right at you. You can see what looks like dried blood caked all over its face. And it's grayish skin. It looks very hungry. So that's all their turn. All right, Basha, it's now your turn.
Oh, good, but that, I mean, not good. So, what are the rules in D&D for like switching places with someone? Like, could I literally just back up and push Drovar forward, or is that not something I can do? Because technically, I would have to have his permission to move him, right?
It might
Yeah,
get a swing on you as you back out. Of
Yeah,
the
it would be an
range.
attack of opportunity. So
it would
I
definitely.
guess.
Yeah, it would definitely have that opportunity.
I don't have any good.
I will be able to move adjacent to you and get a swing on it. You know, but switching places and getting out of its range, it's going to get a chance to take a swing as you go.
Yeah,
Are these things considered humanoids?
Uh,
Creatures?
they are. Well, most of these things are creatures, but it is definitely. What are you trying? What do you want to do?
I was gonna try to hold person it because I don't have any good melee spells. Like anything I do would be at disadvantage because it's so close to me. But I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe I could. Oh, you know what? I have Misty Step. I'm dumb. Sorry, guys. I forgot that I have Misty Step. I'm going to. Where the heck do I want to go? I'm just gonna Misty Step. I know it's weird. I'm gonna Misty Step behind it, like 15. You know, maybe just 5. Yeah, 15 feet behind it.
Sure.
It's technically only 10 feet behind it. And then I'm gonna just cast. Oh, I can't cast I can cast a cantrip. So then I'll just cast Firebolt after I'm over there, like I was
Okay.
going to anyway.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. So, put yourself where you're going to be. Perfect. All right. So
Yeah.
10, 15. Right.
Yeah, so she definitely like panic, like yells, and then just kind of disappears in a puff of mist and reappears. And it's going with the theme of Jan's spellbook. I'm gonna say it's like a little bit of like that snowy mist, like you see some like snow crystals.
Yep.
And she just kind of reappears behind the creature and is like, die, and just casts Firebolt at it.
Sure. Absolutely.
Do it again. Hit this thing, hit this thing, hit this thing. Does a 16 hit?
A 16 does hit.
Yay! It's
All
gonna take 8 fire damage. From
8. All right. We're going to call that one A. This one's B. That one's C. All right. So he takes 8 fire. Nice. All right. As the fire hits it, it's just like. It kind of looks over its shoulder at you. Now it's also now focusing on more meat in front of it and Drovar, but also kind of feels the fire behind it. It's just like doesn't know where to go first to eat. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and I don't know where to go first.
I'm not tasty. I taste terrible. I taste like pickled eggs. You would probably. Oh, those sound really good. Never mind.
All right. So Basha, that's your turn. You still have movement. You've not used your movement. It's up to you.
So, do I think that it? I mean, I know pretty much that it just came from the other way, right? Like, or do I? I don't know. I don't know.
You heard one of the creatures running, a door open, and then all of a sudden it rounded the corner coming at you. So it's a pretty
You know
good
what?
assumption.
I'm gonna take a look around the corner with my staff just to see what's over here to see if I see another corridor, but I don't want to go too far. 'Cause I'm
Sure.
like, you know.
All right. So it opens up, and you can actually see what looks like the corridor does open up, and there does seem to be an indent where possibly a door. On the other side, you also see it open up to what looks like a collapsed end of that tunnel.
I'm gonna be like, it goes around somehow.
All right.
I'm just gonna kind of duck behind this corner so I can use it as like cover, I guess, and then just stay there. Or like I can just shoot spells around the corner, but I'm gonna stay there in
Sure.
case they need me.
Sure.
That's it. That's
All right. All righty. So that was Basha's turn. That was a great turn for Basha. Drovar, it is now your turn. Bocek, you are on deck.
Okay. Well, I will just step up to this guy, walk through that cloud of icy mist, so that's like my breath starts frosting, like, ugh, ugh.
Yep.
I'll give it a swing. I'm gonna hold off on the rage. Hopefully, we don't need it yet.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. 22 to hit.
22 does hit.
$17 damage.
Ooh. So with that, you lop its head right off of its shoulders. And the head goes, it's like slavering, it's like, and then the head just keeps going. And its long, pointy tongue is just now like sticking out of its mouth as it kind of rolls towards where Basha is. But it is no longer a threat.
This hole's clear. Get back.
Okay.
Just oh no, we can't.
It disappeared.
Oh no!
Let's see. I have movement left.
Yes, you do.
Oh, and you said it wraps around.
Yes, I did.
I got these boots, and they do nifty stuff. I can. Not really.
You can jog past me. Right?
Well, not around a corner. If I backed up to here, and could I jump through Bocek Square to get here? Like just spring over him and get into that room. Is that
conceivably? Yeah, you could probably actually not even jump. You could probably just run through in between his legs, like right through the door, and get past because the movement is you just can't end on another creature square.
Okay, so I did 5, 10, 20. Oh yeah, fine. That even without the boots, I could cover that distance. But now I'm in the room looking around, and now we've got these guys between us.
Yeah, as you run in, I mean, you just immediately your boots are crunching like a layer of bones. You can immediately recognize some dwarven bones and then some orcish bones as you're just kind of running in. It's just very brittle, crunching under your feet.
Oh, sorry, brother. Oh, sorry, brother. Oh, don't care about you. Okay, go on. Okay. That's
and
it.
and you see these creatures just turn as you run past and just. All right. Excellent turn for Drovar. Bocek, it is now your turn. Corporal, you're up next.
I'm going to punch it in the back of the head.
Nice. Yeah, it is totally looking at Drovar now.
$16 to hit on the first swing.
That definitely hits.
And that's only 7 damage on my first attack.
Okay. Yeah, so as you hit it, you hear this just crunch as the knuckles that you are wearing, the empowered necro knuckles that you are now wearing, just immediately just drive into its shoulder, and you just hear a bunch of bones inside of it crunch, and you watch his arm just kind of go limp. But it's still up. Just,
yes, let's try this again. Only a 10 on my second swing.
okay. Yeah, it sees it this time. It's prepared for your onslaught.
I am flanking. Does he get
Oh
advantage?
yeah, good point.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
I didn't jump in there for nothing. Come on now.
18 on my second swing.
Definitely hits.
And that's an 11, and that's 11 damage with that second swing.
This time, you actually go wrist deep into the same shoulder, and as you pull it out, as you pull your hand out, just filled with this just nasty blackish ichor that is its blood, and its arm is just ruined. It's just hanging by some tendons and some skin at this point, just barely. It's still up, but it looks like it's getting ready to just fall down. You just breathe on it hard, but unfortunately, it's still up.
Can somebody sneeze on this thing for me?
Please.
Can you get some room?
Yeah, sure. I take it probably swing at me in the process, but okay. So I move out of its threat range, so you can get an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, because its arm is ruined. It's actually going to try and bite at you as you move. So that is going to be, as he lashes out at you, a 15.
Does not hit.
Okay, yeah. So you're able to move out of the way without any issue. This is my mistake, and so just moving forward from this, just as something I should have clarified, and again I forgot, so I apologize. For movement's sake, each square is 10 feet instead of 5 feet.
Oops.
No, it's fine. That was my mistake. Is 5 feet? It is 5 feet for purposes of fighting. So you're within melee range, square to square. That's fine. But for movement's sake, each square is 10 feet. And again, so we don't have to retroactively change it or fix it. But moving forward from this point, let's just be aware of that. And again, I apologize. That was my fault.
No, it's fine. Thanks for the
So
heads
on
up.
average, like if one of us uses a move action, we 3 squares would be 30 feet.
Yes.
Okay.
That's just to kind of show you how large this actual cave system is. That it does take you a little longer to get through it based on that. But again, if you are square to square, that is absolutely melee without any issues. All right. So with that out of the way, it does take that swing. It tries to bite at Bochek and it misses. You can still move a little further if you'd like, Bochek, or you can stay where you're at.
I'll move over one more square to give Gorple and Teague some room.
Okay.
All yours, brother.
All right, Gorple, it is now your turn.
Got it. As we move into that square, I hurl my boomerang at B. His name is Barry. I'm gonna help.
Barry.
Barry is getting a boomerang.
Okay, Barry's getting a boomerang. Go for it.
A boomerang for Barry.
That was
Another
on
children's
19,
stories.
and then it became a 9. So I think I will miss.
Yeah, it just right back to your hand as it misses its target.
Then Teague will rush forward and do his charge at it.
Go for it.
Hold on. Oh, that is a natural 20 for a 24.
Ooh, that definitely hits.
Dang.
That will be a total of 11 slashing.
Okay, as Teague just runs in and charges and just begins slashing with his claws, he obliterates the chest cavity of this creature and is just now, there is just ripped flesh and black ichor at Teague's feet as Barry is no longer a threat to the group.
And we kind of continue as he does like that toe claw to the ground. He just keeps stepping, and we're gonna move around to Chuck's side.
No problem. Get into check.
Give
All
room for check if he wants to get in. And I kind of like as the boomerang came back to my hand, I sheath it and I'll draw my short sword. But I'm not. That's it.
Gotcha. All right, perfect. All right, so that gets us to the top of the round. Pasha, as you're
Don't
kind
they
of
go before me? Oh, never mind. I see what you're saying.
no.
Sorry.
So
Go ahead.
as you're standing there, and you're kind of like peeking around the corner, and you're watching as your allies are just tearing through these creatures who definitely look dangerous. You begin to hear above you this wet, slick sound. And as you look up, you watch as what looks like just kind of like this yellow ichor begins. It looks like it's dripping from the top of the ceiling, and then it gets thicker and it drops right next to you with this thick,
No.
icky sound, seemingly looking for a very alone individual to attack. And you seem to fit that bill. And it just drops right next to you. And as it does, it is going to take an attack on you.
Yeah, you just hear Basha scream like a whole way away. Yes, this
That
thing
was the
drops
last
down.
we saw her.
Probably.
She was around there somewhere. I swear.
Guys, didn't
It's
we
like-
have another party member?
Well, I brought your mother's book back. Maybe you'll learn to talk to it like she did. Bye.
It's like no, like later on the slime just kind of like slides up right next to you with like Basha just in the middle of it. And it just like acts like another party member like the rest of the time. Anyway.
So yeah, you watch as like this pseudopod just kind of like comes out and just kind of whips at you. And that is going to be second. Yeah, that I'm sure that does not hit. A 9 does not hit you.
It does not. I would have
Yeah.
shielded it.
Yeah,
anyway.
it just at you, and it is just it's just kind of like undulating and moving as it pulls the pseudopod back into the rest of its form.
What are you?
It just kind of like shudders and yeah, and it has this kind of noxious smell and odor to it that is just kind of like it's pretty nasty.
I hate it.
But yeah, so that is your turn. That is actually not your turn. That it was the ogre jelly's turn. Now, Basha, it is your turn.
You have to be able to see where you're going to Misty Step, right? Like I couldn't Misty Step around the corner just because I've
Yeah.
already been there and I know what's there.
Yeah, no, you need to
Okay.
see where you're going.
Oh, this sucks.
I mean, technically, you can see behind it, and you can see further down the other way.
You can always disengage. You can't attack, but at least you can get out of its reach without it getting a swing on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
I
that's-
disengage, can I still use a reaction? So say like as I disengage, it tries to attack me. I can shield as a reaction.
Well, yeah,
I don't know
because
how that works.
you would be disengaging as your action. That would be your action. So you would still
I'm gonna
have a reaction.
disengage.
Okay.
I'm gonna disengage because again, I am way too close comfortably to do anything as a wizard, and I'm just gonna be like, I don't know what this thing is as I like go around the corner.
No problem. So you disengage. It is not able to take a reaction. You're kind of like you're kind of like moving and just trying to make sure it doesn't hit you.
I am gonna still face it, like I'm gonna move backwards around the thing so that I'm like ready to hit it next time, but obviously I can't do anything now. So.
No problem.
But I'm
No
just
problem.
screaming like, there's like some weird jelly thing! And it's not like toast jelly, Bochek, it's like bad jelly.
The jelly's gone rotten?
Yes, very rotten, like whole quarter their size rotten, has legs. Someone should put it out of misery.
Is it like kind of mold that fix cold or kind of mold
No.
that like throw it? Okay, so don't go over there and eat.
No, I would not eat it. I mean, maybe you can eat. I don't know. Let's just kill it. I hate it.
All right, I go eat it.
All right. No. Okay. I wouldn't touch it. It's like it looks bad. Okay. Anyway, that's it. My speech, action, and movement is my whole turn.
Okay. All right. No problem. All right. So Drovar, it is now your turn.
All right, let's just keep dancing with this guy here. Can't leave him
Yeah.
behind. So yeah, just a nice good old swing at him.
Okay.
14.
14 does hit. Hits,
11.
hits good old Chuck. Yeah. Yeah, you carve a huge piece of flesh off of its leg. As it's kind of like, and it just kind of just slows to the ground. And now it's just that black ichor is just like pouring down its leg. It's still standing, but it's all of its attention is on you now.
Okay, I'm just calling out because I hear the two of them yelling in the hallway. It's like, this is no time to be talking about snacks. Come on.
This is no snack.
We're still in here with this thing.
All right. So are you saying where you're at, or are you good?
He's still here. Yeah, I'm gonna keep him busy.
Okay. All right. So Bocek, it's now your turn.
Okay, I go look for jelly.
Okay.
That's
All right.
my movement.
Yeah. You see this large, amorphous, yellowish blob taking up almost the entirety of the from about 10 feet ahead of you, taking up the entirety of this tunnel. And it's just like
Fuck you! I throw a dart at it.
okay. So you throw dirt. Go for it.
Dirty 20,
Yeah, that definitely hits.
and that's 7 piercing.
7 piercing.
Aw.
Alrighty, so 7 piercing. All right, yep. You watch the dart enter its body, and it just kind of like shivers, seemingly taking the damage, but you can still somewhat see the dart inside of its body, and it begins to dissolve until the dart is gone.
Drovar, we're going to need to find a new bar where I can steal darts from. Also, the giant jelly monster down here.
Little wizard, you're not.
I'm actually. Can I take a speech action even though it's during his turn? I know we kind of freely do it.
As long as it's quick, yeah. As long as it's quick.
No, I would just be like, you should move. Don't stay there. They'll come for you.
Good. It can only hit it if it gets close to me.
That's it.
All right. So that's Bocek's turn. Unless you want to do anything else, Bocek.
Yeah, you know what? I'll use my bonus action to, is patient defense? Oh, no, never mind. Patient defense is a key point.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay. All right. Gorple, it is now your turn.
All right. I'm gonna stab this thing in the head.
Go for it.
AC 10.
It does not hit, unfortunately. So you go to stab at it, it's like, and just kind of swipes at you.
Don't we still have a player advantage?
There is still a group inspiration.
Warple, don't you have one of your own as well?
I have one of my own.
Yeah, and Gorple has one. Yep.
Sure, I will
think
use
Basha
it.
got one too recently.
All right.
I will.
So Gorple's using his inspiration.
Oh, I rolled a natural 1 with that, so it was really well used.
Ooh. Yeah, so it definitely saw it coming.
I go, oh man, its leg. When he took out its leg, it made it harder to hit. T, get it.
Sorry, wait a minute. Did it actually go? I thought it went before. I don't remember when it. Chuck didn't try to eat anybody.
Oh, that's right. It did miss its turn. That is my fault. Yeah.
Teacher, do we have homework?
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, yeah. So before T gets its attack, Chuck is gonna try, because he's the only one left. He's gonna try his damnedest to get at the one that actually damaged it, which would be Drovar. So it's basically it's gonna try and claw at you.
Actually, following the rules is good karmic balance for my own games that I run. Just saying.
Yeah, that's not gonna hit. That's a 9 to hit.
Perfect.
Yeah, doesn't hit you. It's not moving. It wants food. It's hungry, and it's also very hurt. So now Teague can take its attack.
Teague makes a chuffing noise because it smells horrible and decides he doesn't want to. I rolled a natural 1 on that attack. So we will leave now. I'll just leave. You can get an attack for opportunity on me or Teague.
Okay. All right. Chuck will
like,
definitely.
I don't want to do this anymore. He's done with this.
Chuck will definitely go for that attack. He's gonna swing out with his claws, and that is going to be a 21 to hit.
That will hit either one of us, depending on who he's going for.
Okay. I would probably say the bigger target, which would be Teague.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so that is going to be on Teague 11 piercing damage. As it's just like, just right with his claws, ripping into his flesh.
It does not look happy, but it's still up. And we run away.
All right. Okay. Now.
Where the hell are you going?
You got this! You got this!
Little pink flower, I could you show you.
Wow. Okay. So, we are now at. Let's see. 1 second. Yeah. So now we're at the top of the round. It is now the Ochre Jelly's turn. And that is going to be. Hold on a second. I'll make sure I got this right. Okay. All right. So it is going to move towards, obviously, you, Bocek. It filling up this entire hallway, but moving without any obstruction. It doesn't seem to have any problem sliding down this hallway right at you. And you watch as its pseudopod comes out and begins to actually swing at you. That is going to be. All right, I am going to use my DM inspiration to re-roll that.
You're getting bitch slapped by breakfast food.
That was worse. Okay, yeah. So a 9 doesn't hit you. It's just slaps at you, misses, and you watch as the pseudopod, when it just kind of whips at you and you dodge out of the way, like a few flecks of it hit the wall next to you, and you hear a sound. And the pseudopod retracts into its jelly body, and it begins to climb up the wall.
Hey, you get back here.
You are able to take, if you like, a reaction swing at it. And we're gonna say, yeah, it gets about 20 feet. I'm just gonna put 20 feet right there just for my edification, so I know where it is. But as it's moving away, you can attack it if you like.
That is a 26 to hit.
That definitely hits.
And 12 necrotic damage as... Hey, you get back here!
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you hit it, and you watch as it... And you watch as you punch it, and again, your hand goes into it slightly, and as you pull your hand out, you can see and feel like your hand is starting to is starting to go a little numb. And you can watch as like your skin, there's actually smoke coming from your skin from the punch. Your necro knuckles actually don't seem to be affected in any way. But you look at where you punched it, and there's like this black mass that just begins to spread like veins throughout the actual jelly, and then it's there for a moment and then subsides, but it definitely took all of that damage.
He does not like when I punch it with teethy fist.
But it is now 20 feet up above you in the cavern, in the tunnel. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It is 10 feet up. It is 10 feet up. All right. So that is your turn, Bochek. Do you want to move? Because it is now. Actually, no. I'm sorry. That was the jelly's turn. After the jelly goes, it is now Chuck's turn. Chuck is going to.
All right, let's get this over with. Come on.
He is going to try and bite at you, because he is hungry. Damn it! That is a 15 to hit.
That's a hit.
Okay. And as it bites down at you, you take 9 piercing damage. As it just comes down on your armor, but you can feel like the piercing through the armor into your flesh.
Delightful.
Alrighty. And yeah, that's all Chuck can do at this moment, as his compadres are no more. So Basha, it is now your turn.
Okay. What do I want to do? Because I can't really see the slime, right? Because it's around the corner from me. Like you said, it was crawling up the wall, but I'm assuming it's like behind the wall.
Yeah. Only at this time, Bochek is the only one that can see it from where it's at.
I'm gonna try and move like behind Bochek, so like into that ruined hallway that I saw. So I'm gonna try and aim for like the spot that's like behind Bochek, so I can try and like, shoot past him. I hope there's a spot there. Well, I'll find out in a second.
So that dark spot where he's at?
That dark spot, and I hope it's not a hole. We'll find out.
Okay.
I mean, I am walking, so.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So as you get to that spot, open that up for you.
Watch it just be a pit trap.
No, you actually see that it continues a little further down. But you need to get further down. You need to move forward to see any more. But now you can see the jelly about 10 feet up, kind of trying to lay flat against the ceiling, but it looks like it might begin moving at some point.
Oh, look at you. I see you up there. I'm gonna try to firebolt it. Hopefully it works. I don't know if this stuff burns. We'll find out.
All right.
Does an 18 hit?
An 18 definitely hits.
Cool. So she kind of rounds the corner with Jan. Is like, where is it? There it is, and shoots a fireball, and that is 7 fire damage.
7. Nice. Yeah, the fire hits it, and there's this sickening smell, and you can also smell like there's this noxious fume just coming from the impact point. And you watch as it you kind of like shimmies and shakes. Definitely takes the hit.
Oh, good. Well, at least it burns. It's burn now. It is burn jelly.
Alrighty.
That's all I do.
That's all you do. Okay.
Yeah, that does sound pretty gross. It does.
Alrighty. So, it is now. Just want to make sure. Yep. It's now It's Drovar's turn.
Okay, let's see what we can do with this guy. 25 to hit.
Definitely hits.
14 damage.
14. How would you like to kill Chuck?
Absent-mindedly. I was just like, where the hell is everybody? Oh, you! Just kind of a backhand, just kind of the axe comes up and is, spin around one time and just, like from groin up and just split him in half and spin around. I'm like, God, what's this about breakfast food? And just start moving. Barely even notice he's dead. It's just, I got other things to do.
Oh yeah, just like cutting a hot knife through butter. Goes right through, and it just splits, and all of its guts and intestines just fall out. And Chuck is no more, but you are now confused by all of the goings on about jellies and breakfast foods.
I've been hearing shouting and other things. Gorpal's heading south, so I will go that way and start moving in that direction, but that's my move.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty. So, Bocek, it is now your turn. This jelly is 10 feet up on the ceiling of this tunnel. So it's about 20 feet away from you.
So it's 10 feet up in the 20 feet away from me.
Yeah. It's like 10 feet forward and then 10 feet up, so about 20 feet.
All right. So I am canonically 10 feet tall. We have said this in the past.
Okay. So you could literally reach up and grab it if you wanted to.
If I stepped into the next square.
Yep.
I will do that.
Okay. So you step into the next square and you are in melee with it.
Excellent. I'm going to take a swing.
Go for it. Is you there?
It's only an 11 on the first swing.
That definitely hits it. It's pretty large blob of jelly. Doesn't have a lot of AC.
7 necrotic on the first swing.
Yeah, it takes it, just shivers.
24 on the second hit.
Definitely hits.
And another 12 necrotic on that swing.
Okay, how would you like to kill this creature?
I am going to grab the jelly and pull it to the floor and just, as I feel my fingers burning, I'm gripping it with the necro knuckles and just letting the necrotic energy kind of melt it away.
All right, yeah, so as you're reaching up and you do the first punch and you just watch that necrotic energy just kind of surge through its body, and it's actually everywhere where it's surging, it's now like it can't hold itself together, and pieces begin to drip off. And then with the second punch, you reach in and you begin to pull it down. And as you do, the energy is now it goes from this yellowish, this yellow ochre kind of color, and is now turning this brownish, blackish color as you're yanking and pulling it down. And it's now kind of just falling apart all around you until it just hits the ground, and you just watch as it begins to dissolve into the dirt, into the rock. Because you are in such close proximity to it, you will take 2 acid damage. Just because you have your kind of knuckles deep into this nastiness. But it does dissolve all around you, and it is no longer a threat.
Jelly monster gone.
Yay! I don't want that on my toast. It looks gross.
All right. I'll go back in and look at the dead things on the ground and, loot them.
Okay. So make an investigation check. Anybody who wants to can actually make an investigation check of the area.
Drovar, do I have to touch them?
You want their... If they had stuff, do you want to share?
Yeah, I'll help.
All right, roll up your sleeves and dig in.
Yeah, it's best kind of digging. Find stuff.
All right.
Trust me, it's a lot less work than mining for gold the old-fashioned way.
All right.
That's a 14 total for me for investigating stuff.
Okay. Are you all moving into the room?
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am, but first I'm like kind of like seeing if the jelly left anything behind before heading into the room.
Make a general intelligence check for me, Bojack.
That's 7.
7? Yeah, you're just gonna sit here and wait till it dissolves because there's got to be something good. It probably ate somebody that had something really good, and maybe their stuff is still inside. And so you're just kind of waiting, and occasionally, just kind of like with your shoe, you're with your boot, you're just kind of like kicking some jelly to the side, but it's slowly, and it's not fast. You can see that it's slowly just kind of like losing mass and beginning to dissolve into the ground. Like it's not actually burning the ground or like making divots or anything. It just seems to kind of like being dissolved into the ground.
Don't worry, guys. Any minute now, this jelly is going to melt, and there's probably going to be something super cool in it. Like, the coolest.
Okay.
All right. Drovar, what'd you get?
5. I was too busy berating Basha.
Okay. Gorple?
What do you berating me for?
I also got a 14.
Because you didn't want to loot.
14.
You're usually the first one in.
So Basha, you also got a 14 as well?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So yeah, Drovar, you're just kind of like, come on, yeah, just kind of berating her and just losing.
He's a little miffed that he got like bailed on in the middle of this fight. It's like, it's still right here.
I'm sorry, big jelly dropped on the head practically. I was almost jelly.
It's more Gorp running off. It's like, yeah, I got this.
Listen, Teague did not like the smell of the creature, the taste, and it was his choice.
He's in the wrong line of work.
Okay, really, it was my choice. I didn't want to be there anymore. I embarrassed myself, so I just left.
Same statement.
All right. So Basha, Gorple, you first off, there is a layer, like at least an inch or two thick of just bones in this room. You look and you can see there's only there's only 7 beds. It looks like this room used to be some kind of barracks. And
they didn't suck all the marrow out of these bones, and I start sucking on one.
That better not be a dwarf bone.
I throw it aside.
But you do realize that there's definitely more bones than 7 individuals. So you get the impression that probably these creatures probably dragged bones into this room, and this was kind of like their feeding area. This is where they slept. This is where they ate. You do start kind of digging through the bones and digging through like the bedding and stuff. And you quickly realize that if there was anything of worth in here, it was probably torn apart by these creatures in search of food. Which they definitely, you absolutely, and Gorple, since you were the first one, you started sucking the marrow, you absolutely see that, yeah, the bones have been cracked open. The bones have been gnawed on, chewed on repeatedly. So they were definitely, over time, just ripping through anything, the bedding, the armor, the weapons. There are none, that you can find. It just seems to be, like shredded clothing, shredded armor. The bedding in here is just torn to shreds. So unfortunately, there's not much of anything of importance that you can find.
This reminds me of home. Most undead aren't smart enough to open doors. These back in Chult they are, but not here.
So why were these?
I've not seen these kinds before. What are they? Kicks one of the heads.
As
Uh,
oh,
No,
sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, as Warple says, most undead aren't smart enough to open doors. Bocek is struggling to push the pull door.
It's you push, Wojciech, push, both hands.
If anybody would like to make a general intelligence check on what these creatures are, you can do so.
I will try.
Natural,
I rolled a 1.
natural 20.
Nice.
I've heard of them.
I got a 14.
14. Bocek, are you trying to figure out what these creatures are?
Yeah, with an 8.
Okay, yeah, Basha, you don't know these things, especially the only thing you can picture at this point, Basha, was that creature turning that corner and running at you full speed was one of the most terrifying things that you have ever seen. And when you try to figure out what they are, that is the image that keeps flashing in your mind. He's like, nope, I'm done.
Nope.
I'm not going to try to figure this out.
I don't care what they are. I don't want to know. You all figure it out. I don't know.
Bocek, unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be anything inside the jelly. You're a little disappointed. So you're at this point, you're just like, I don't care what those things were. I wanted something cool. But Gorple, you're starting to get like an idea. It's like you've seen creatures like this before, and Drovar immediately you're just like, oh shit, these are ghouls. Oh my god, fucking ghouls. One of the most terrifying of undead, where they are very humanoid in appearance. They still seem to have some semblance of their former appearance. They move fast. They seem to have some limited intelligence, but they are controlled by an uncontrollable hunger to just consume and eat mostly living flesh and anything attached to that flesh. And yeah, it is just, and these were just 3. So, and then Drovar, you didn't actually see it, but there was this jelly that is apparently roaming these halls as well. No longer, thanks to Bocek. But yeah, this is what
I've probably heard of other dwarves telling stories about slimes and oozes and things that just, ate old Fred or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't know that one particularly, but the ghouls, am I aware of their what makes them particularly scary with the paralysis thing? Is that a thing that exists?
With these particular ghouls, no. They just seem to be the for lack of a better term, your run-of-the-mill ghoul.
Okay, so basically very hungry, fast zombie kind of
yes
that I'm getting off of these guys. It's like,
right.
All right. Okay.
Thankfully you didn't run into the actual paralysis part of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But you do, again, you would know this, especially with your natural 20, that it can actually it can paralyze if it gets its claws deep into you enough. Biting just won't do it. It'd actually be the claws.
Yeah. So I just, say, all right, group up for one thing. If there's this many, there could be more. I mean, this was an entire settlement, probably full of folk. Yeah, judging by the kinds of bones in here, probably got equal numbers of dead from both sides. And these things pulled them all in here, but I mean, there's a lot of bones here, but if it was a full community, there's probably more. And if they were attracted to flesh to eat, there could be more of them. The thing you got to remember, that I remember about ghouls, I look over at Gorble, it's like, never leave anybody alone fighting them. Because if they get their claws in you, you can get paralyzed. And then they eat you while you're still alive and you can't call for help.
Yeah, all right, I won't abandon you. I got the lesson. You don't have to lie to me about it, too. I got it.
Just wait.
As I feed a good berry to Teague.
Yeah. Did you distribute good berries?
Yeah, because I have 8, so that means Bocek has 8 also because he likes to eat extras, and then the rest of you have 7 because I made 30 last night.
Right.
I am just lucky jelly did not turn me to jelly. I am fine.
So, I guess, do we want to keep going further? Because it seems like there's some hallways south.
Yeah, let's keep going south. You know,
Yeah.
check out these areas. Yeah. I mean, we made a lot of noise and nothing came calling, so that's I'd say that's a good thing.
You want to look down the other hallway, and I think there's a hallway a little bit to the east.
Well, down here, I'm guessing this is gonna lead back to the other tunnel. Let me take a quick look over there just to confirm that it connects. Make sure it doesn't lead to anything else.
All right.
So I'm gonna go there and take a look, and then I'll go south just to see if it connects back up with the cave-in area in the first chamber.
Okay. So Gorple, when you actually where you were standing before, that opens up. And you can see a long hallway, a long tunnel, but it does actually go outside of the light that you can actually see. But there also does seem to be some kind of carved entrance over here. Drovar, as you look down that way, it does open up, and you can see the end of a tunnel, but you'd have to get further down to actually see if it connects with the other. You think it does, but you'd have to confirm it. You'd have to check.
Yeah, I will get to here just to take a look. Okay, I see the other chamber, but I see something else the other way.
Yeah, you can see a number of things actually. And you don't have to make a check to see them. As you look towards the tunnel area, in front of you, you can see that the wall in front of you is carved with a simple relief showing showing dwarf and gnome miners hard at work. And then further down, you can see that this relief actually is on the other side, on the side of the wall where you are. But on the ground, you can continuously see more and more bones on the floor, on the ground.
Okay.
But the actual... I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's just there's no sign of anything chewing on them, or like the last time.
Make a perception check for me.
Natural 1. I'm looking at the picture, the carvings of the gnomes and the dwarves and stuff.
Yeah, it's beautifully done. It's worn, but you can tell that it's expertly done. And the one thing you can also see is that even though there are bones where you're standing, the floor itself seems very intricately carved. Like it's not anything like special, but it's definitely seems like this area was there was some work put in this area.
They put a lot of pride into this. Yeah. Ancient Brazilian style, yeah. I've seen that in a few years. Wow, bones! What? I will turn around. I'll turn around, bump into Bocek. All right, let's report back.
Okay.
All right. So Gorple, are you gonna check that other area, or Bocek is. Okay.
Yeah, I figured I'd kind of shine the lantern down that way.
Okay.
As we're all kind of coming together.
Yeah. You can now see this whole area kind of opens up, and you can see that there are what looks like, bones, more and more bones in this central location. Just it's a lot of bones. But you can see a little bit. Actually, no. Without light and getting further in, you wouldn't be able to see more than that. But Drovar, seeing this it looks like it connects to the location like where you were standing before.
So up north, there's a full corridor. The light doesn't even go down to the end of it. Like it just keeps going, and there also seems to be a hallway, but I didn't look further.
All right, I'd say we deal with what's south here. More of these bones, it means there could be more of these ghouls collecting stuff. Those guys are not things we want sneaking up behind us.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I guess I'll move forward. I got light.
All right.
All right. So Gorpal, Drovar, Basha, and Bocek, are you coming with them, or what are you guys doing?
Yep, I'm going with them.
I'll
Sorry,
follow.
It just took me a minute to move.
Okay. So yeah, as you get in, you can now see standing in this area. You especially, Gorpal. Everybody else would actually have to move further in to actually see this particular spot. Many tunnels intersect at this natural 30-foot high cavern. You can see the same reliefs of dwarves and gnomish miners working. They go all throughout these walls. Wherever you look on the walls, you can see these reliefs. Some are more worn away than others, but they're there. And you can see about 24 skeletons in rusted scraps of armor scattered across the cavern floor. Some are dwarves, while others are orcs, and you can see possibly some gnomish bones as well. 6 large brass lanterns stand in niches on ledges around the cavern, but none of them are lit.
Maybe we light lanterns?
I'm gonna light my staff again.
Okay.
Well, I assume it was still lit, so I could see. But
yeah.
Should we light?
I mean, is there magic here? Is it like does this look like some sort of ritual or something with the I don't know. They just look scattered to me.
Can I roll an Arcana check to see if I think it's a ritual without? Because I'm hesitant to use my magic, but like, does this look like a ritual or just like a pile of bones? You know what I'm saying?
I would say you don't even have to roll for this. It doesn't look. It just looks like a pile of bones. Like I have like the image of them as just like sitting in the middle, but they're all kind of like scattered around this area.
Yeah.
Just randomly. It doesn't look like there's any rhyme or reason. You know, as a wizard, that most arcane rituals need to have some kind of semblance of order. This is just random chaos.
Yeah, I don't think this is the ritual. This is like just scattered bones, so at least we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, let's take a look at the lanterns and go take a look at one.
Okay.
Are they like mounted there? Are they liftable? You know that.
They are these massive lanterns that are kind of set inside of the stone itself. And as you kind of inspect it, you can see that it's actually bolted to the back of the actual rock wall. So you can easily open them and light them if there's any oil inside, but you would not be able to kind of lift or remove them. Okay. Some of them, you can see the glass is kind of broken in some of them, but they seem like if they had oil, they would be functional.
As a as a dwarven miner, it's like, is this like the kind of thing that I'm familiar with? That like a room that they know that a lot of work's going to be done, they'll set up permanent light fixtures like this, or does this seem like more of a display? Like they want to, because there's all these carvings on the walls. Maybe they want a lot of light to show it off.
Actually, make a general intelligence check for me.
Five. He's just talking out his butt, right?
Yeah, there's something familiar. Like it looks like this is definitely an area of importance, but it's just bothering you. You don't know what it means, what it could mean. But you do know it's like it's something important about this area.
Use this for something important. This isn't just, they put the effort to put these things in. Yeah, I say we light them up, see what they wanted to be revealed with the light.
Okay.
All right. We got some oil and let's light it up.
Yeah. I'll check off one of my oil flasks and kind of put a quarter of it in each one just to give it a little bit,
Okay.
Give these lanterns just enough light to be on for a little bit.
All right. So you're moving. You're actually inside this cavern area. All right.
Sure.
All right. So I'll put you there. Is that all right? Like there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So as you're kind of moving and you're beginning to put the oil in, Gorple, are you putting the oil into a lantern as well?
Yeah. I'm doing the same, and I'll use my tinder box to start lighting.
Sure. All right. Yeah. So you begin pouring the oil in to the lanterns, and as you do, Basha, Drovar, and Gorple, you all hear this very familiar buzzing and flapping sound.
Oh no.
And you look up, and as you look up, you watch, almost without any noise, these tiny little sturges dropping from the ceiling, coming right at you. And you almost didn't hear them because of the waves, that the thunderous wave sound that echoes throughout this location. But you hear them a little too late, as one each actually gets to drop on all of you, except for Bocek, because Bocek has not entered into this area yet. So the first one for you, Drovar, is going to attempt an attack on you. And that is going to be second. That is an 18 to hit.
Yep.
And that is going to be 4 piercing damage. And as it plunges its proboscis into your chest, it is now attached to you. As you feel it sucking your blood. Basha, the one attacks you. Well, that was a roll. That is a 10 to hit.
Does not hit.
Yeah, so you're like, as this one tries to get you, thankfully missing. And Gorple, yours drops onto you. Ooh, that is a natural 20 for 25. You will take 8 piercing damage, and it is now attached to you. And
You need to make a con save against touching me.
Okay. That is, what is that? A 12 again, right?
Yep. DC
Okay.
12.
12. Yep, that's a 7.
He is now under the poison condition for a minute.
All right. Well, how much damage does he take?
So it's weird because it only does damage when I apply it to a weapon, but when something touches me or grapples me or hits me with like an unarmed attack, they just get the poison condition for a minute.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So the one on you, which is attached to you, has the poison condition. And all right. And so now that the surprise round is done, we are going to take our break. And when we come back, everyone will roll initiative, and you will be battling a group of Sturges.
Joy.
Because, nothing dangerous can happen in an ancient mine that you've already encountered. I don't know, ghouls and jellies, Why not Sturges? You guys know how to deal with Sturges. This is not new.
Why not? Sturges, yeah.
So with that, we will actually we're going to be taking our break. Come back, we will continue the battle of the Sturge Purge, if you will, and we will be back shortly to see what happens. So we'll see you in a few. There we go. Yes, now we are back. All right. Excellent. Alrighty. So, just as a reminder before we begin, of the inspirations, there is a Drovar inspiration. There is a DM inspiration. There is a group inspiration, and then there is a Basha inspiration. Just
Yeah, I tried to give one to Bocek, but it keeps telling me that it's sold out. So I just I don't know what happened.
only two at a time.
Each person's only allowed to give out 2, so Unconventional Heroes has already given out 2.
Okay.
No, but
Wait,
she has
I'm
her,
not- I have
she has
my
her
own
own
thing.
accounts.
I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, it won't let me. Weird.
Oh, no, Mama. There were actually 2 for me, and I've already used 1. So there is another one. Alrighty. So I need everybody to roll initiative, please. Alrighty. So, Gorple, what'd you get?
24.
Nice. Drovar.
5.
Basha.
15.
15. Bocek.
10.
10. Okay. And just going to very quickly just give all of these little Sturges letters. I can track them. And there's a lot. Cool. Alrighty. So these are the ones that are attached to Drovar and Warple. Alrighty. So starting at the top of the round is Gorple. Gorple, you have one of these creatures attached to you currently.
All right. So I'm going to flick out my short sword and cut Carl off me.
Okay.
I imagine AC 8 does not hit.
It does not, unfortunately. So it's just super difficult to kind of like try and carve it off of you while it's kind of like digging its way into your chest.
So I just kind of lean over and I'm like, Tig, bite it off.
All right.
AC 7. We're not doing good today.
Yeah, it's having Teague is trying to skirt actually biting you while this thing is moving, and unfortunately misses.
It's fine. I'll get so drunk and poisoned that I'll fall off. It's fine.
All right.
That's all I got.
Okay. So next up is Basha. It is flying in front of you.
I'm gonna do what I did last time and smack it with my staff, just to smack it out of the way, because I can't really firebolt it when it's right next to me. I just want to kind of, yeah. So what would that be, an unarmed strike technically, or do I use the staff, right? Because it's what, a plus? Yeah. I
Yeah.
use the staff. Never mind. I answered my own question. I probably miss 7.
7 does miss, unfortunately.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I try to smack it and miss, and I'm just like, ah. I guess that's my whole turn. Well. Yeah, no, that's my whole turn. I'm not gonna waste magic right now.
Okay. Alrighty. As these sturges just are dropping from the top of the ceiling, you hear a larger and you still hear the buzz, but it is much larger than you are anticipating, and you don't see it fully yet, but you do hear it. It hasn't emerged from the ceiling yet, but you can hear something larger above you. All right, so that's that. It's turn. Bocek, it is now your turn.
I would like to punch diagonally at the start. What letter is that? Let me zoom in.
B, the one
Yeah,
right next
I'd
to
like-
Basha. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to punch at B, and we'll see where we go from there.
All right, go for it.
Dazzle.
That is a 27 to hit.
That absolutely hits.
And 8 damage on the first swing.
It explodes like a juicy blood-filled water balloon. You remember, these are those forbidden avocados.
Oh
But
no!
these-
Bad avocado! Bad avocado!
you almost didn't recognize them because they're different color. These are like this reddish brown color.
Without any explanation, Bocek is just like running around swinging at these things, yelling about bad avocados.
Yeah,
I'm gonna attack F next.
go for it.
19 to hit.
That definitely hits.
And then that's 10 damage on that one.
Another as it just explodes. Not a lot of blood, but definitely just onto the ground and is no longer moving.
Still screaming about avocados. And that's where I'll end my turn.
Alrighty. So, it's your turn. Alrighty. So, it is now the Sturge's turn. All of their turn. So, we're going to start with, I guess we'll call this one Albert, the one that is stuck to Drovar. As it is stuck to Drovar, you feel this pulse as it continues to suck at your blood. Doesn't even have to hit to attack because it's already in you, and you immediately take four damage as it's just sucking the blood out of you while it's still attached to you. It does not seem to be like it wants to go anywhere because it's got what it needs.
I'm delicious.
Okay, B's done. C, I guess this one could be Chuck too. Charlie, Carlos.
Carl, I think was it
Carlos. We'll call this one Carlos.
He was definitely Carlos.
Okay, this is Carlos. Carlos will, as he's sucking at you, doesn't even have to roll to hit. You also take 4 damage. It's still under the poison condition, but it doesn't have to roll to hit while it is stuck inside of you. It is happily and weirdly like it's just kind of like while it's sucking your blood. The poison is having an effect on it, but its proboscis is already in your chest as it's just pulling the blood from you.
This stuff tastes great.
We'll call this one Darlene. Darlene's gonna come flying in and attack Teague. Or going to attempt to, and that is going to be a 14 to hit.
That will miss.
Okay, so tries to Teague just kind of dodges out of the way. But they are going to kind of swarm at this point, and so let's see. This is I. What's a good I name? We're gonna call it Iggy. Iggy's gonna come right at Teague as well. And see, let's try to hit Teague. Ooh, that's an 8. Another miss. And then George here. George is gonna fly over to Bocek and attempt to latch on to Bocek. That it will be. Ooh, a 23 to hit Bocek.
Yeah, weird. Somehow that misses now. Yeah, that's
So
bracers are way better than we thought.
yeah, so it's proboscis just right into your shoulder, and it is going to drain you for 4 damage, and it is now attached to you. George is now attached to you. Okay, Edgar is also going to fly over at you, and going to try and attach himself to your muscular, full of blood form. And that is going to be a miss with a 7. And then Junior's gonna fly over to Drovar, being the closest.
Junior, no.
No, not Junior. And that is going to be a 9, another miss. They just seem to be very, very like, oh my god, there's something here, movement, and they're just like they're just going at you with little to think about, just blood. And yeah, so thankfully most of them miss you, but they are definitely now swarming at all of you at this point. Edgar missed. George is attached to your chest there. And we forgot Horace. Poor Horace. He's the runt of the Sturge litter. He is going to. He's not the brightest. He's gonna He's gonna go over to Basha. He's gonna try to attach himself to Basha. She seems lonely. Horace thinks that she's lonely. He's gonna try and make friends.
No, I don't want to be friends. No.
That is an 11 to hit.
Does not hit.
Which misses. Horace again, just like, but does not latch himself to you. And that is the end of the round for them. Drovar, it is now your turn.
Okay. I am going for the hand axes because, as I recall, hitting more than once is better. I'm also going to rage because these guys are going to suck me dry otherwise. I got plenty hit points, but yeah.
Okay.
So I'm hoping I rage is flex, and the one that's on me starts to like swell up and try to pop it.
It seems
my
happy.
mighty shoulders.
It seems happy.
Yeah. Enjoy it while you can, you little. I will. Let's see. Yeah, I want to get Archie, or whatever name we gave him, get him off of me. Raging. Okay, so regular hand axe. It's a 25.
That definitely hits.
Ooh, max damage 12. No, 13 because I'm raging. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
It just explodes all over your chest, and you're just kind of like, and you got yank the proboscis out of you and throw it to the ground as it's just now a lump of unmoving flesh.
Yeah. My bonus action, I will use the hand axe in my other hand and go for the offhand.
Okay.
A 17.
17 does hit.
2 points of damage to Junior.
That is enough to make Junior a large splatter on the ground. They are very tiny. They don't seem to make. They don't seem to have a lot of hit points, but boy, can they actually do significant damage in groups.
I'm looking up at the ceiling. Has Mama arrived?
Make a perception check.
Oh, an 18.
18. You can see a much larger shadow. You can't see it completely yet, but a much larger shadow than these small creatures beginning to descend from the top of the ceiling.
Why didn't anyone tell us they got that big? Yeah.
All right, top of the round, Gwarple, you are up.
like, God damn it, Carlos, and I'll draw my other. I'll put the lantern down and draw my other short sword, and I'll try to cut this one off me.
Okay.
AC 25.
Definitely hits.
My minimum damage is 5. Do you want me to roll it?
It just Carlos splatters all over you. No longer a threat.
And then I will kind of draw my offhand short sword against my blood, and I'll stab D.
Okay, go for it.
Darius. Natural 20, so it's a minimum of 2 damage.
Just ripe, juicy blood balloons bursting in your under your stroke.
And then Teague will take the dodge action since I did not give him an order.
Okay. Excellent. Alrighty. So that is your turn, Corporal. Basha, it is now your turn.
So if I try to hit this guy with Firebolt, I'm at disadvantage, correct? Because he's like on me.
He's on you, yeah. It is directly within melee.
Even with disadvantage, that's still a 12 on the die, so that would be a 17 to hit.
That does hit.
7 fire damage. So I'm like,
oh yeah.
No!
Instead of actually bursting, it just disintegrates. The blood with that it was beginning to try and get from you, which it failed. There was not a lot in it, so it just disintegrates in front of you. Horace no longer having to worry about being the runt of the litter.
And Basha will take a step back into the doorway just so she has some more distance between these things, and is just kind of looking around trying to figure out her next attack. But
all right,
that's it for me.
Okay, so that is your turn. It is now the Sturge King's turn. As you now can see it literally come descending from the top of the ceiling. It is now hovering about 10 feet above your heads. As it is much bigger. It's about the size of Teague. Almost the size of you, Drovar. As it's just and it just kind of looks down and it's just looking around. And you watch, and the proboscis itself just kind of slightly opens, and you can see these very sharp ridges, and then it just goes, ah! And as it does, you watch the skeletons at your feet begin to start to, and we will see how many skeletons emerge from the pile. Yes.
I'm gonna turn Proboscis into a short sword. Oh my god, Gristleborn's gonna be so happy.
I'm gonna throw a skeleton at it.
It's a
I'm sorry.
Sturge.
I'm sorry, DM. The what's turn?
The Sturge King's turn.
I was gonna say, Gorp, try to learn to ride that thing, but no,
I got a net for it.
Nope, don't try. Nope.
You watch as 2 dwarven and 1 orcish skeleton rise from the pile of bones around all of you, and just their bones chittering together. That was the Sturge King's turn. And once again, just as a reminder, I'm actually going to I will put how far up he is in the air, so you are aware. It's just 10 feet. And he will move right about here. Okay. Alrighty. So that is their turn. I now have to roll initiative for the skeletons. Okay. That's good to know. Alrighty, so that is the Sturge King turn. Bocek, it is now your turn.
So, I'm guessing hitting someone with someone else is not exactly in the question. So I'm going to take my first attack at what's G? Is he Greg? I think.
Yeah, Greg or Gary. Okay, whatever,
yeah,
whatever floats your boat. Yeah.
I'm gonna take my first attack at Gary.
Okay.
15 to hit.
Definitely hits.
And that's 10 damage, and what it's going to be is me falling on my chest, hitting, landing on Gary.
Okay. That'll put you prone.
Crap, I don't have the ability I thought I did yet. Never mind. Well, I'm going to run into one of the skeletons with Gary then and activate my flurry of blows.
Okay.
And try to kip off the skeleton directly to the
Hold on, I'll give
top
them
right of me. Like
I'll give them letters so you can see. There you go.
Cool.
So which one?
Cool. I'm going to try to kip off of skeleton B.
Okay. All right, go for it.
It's only an 11 to hit.
Hold on a second. I believe that hits, actually. Let me just double check. Sorry. Actually, no, that does not hit. So you go to swing and hit, and you actually crack one of the ribs, but you can see that there's like just scraps of like leather armor and just chainmail, just scraps just kind of hanging off of them. And unfortunately, even though you chipped a bone, it doesn't seem to do much damage.
Not a problem. I still get a free disengage, and while swinging at him, I'm going to try to use him to leverage myself to jump and take a swing at the Sturge King for my third attack.
Okay. So I will actually say for the jump, make me an acrobatics or athletics check, your choice.
22.
22? Okay, yeah, go for it. Now roll for attack.
19 to hit the Sturge King.
Yep, that definitely does hit it.
And that's only going to be 7 damage on the Sturge King.
7 damage. All right. Yeah, you jump up and definitely you can feel as you hit it. You feel its hide is actually pretty tough, and it's not as squishy as the smaller ones, but it does take the damage. And it's like, ah! It actually makes this weird noise. Alrighty. So that's it? That's your turn?
Yeah, that'll be the end of my turn.
Alrighty. So it is the Sturge's turn. The only Sturge left is Iggy and Edgar. Edgar is going to fly at you, Bocek, and attempt to latch himself to you, because you seem like a cool dude. What just happened? What just happened? Oh no. Hold on a second. Computer decided to freak out.
No.
Yeah. Alrighty. Hold on. Get this going. Hold on. There we go. Okay. All right. So, sorry, Edgar. He rolls. Wow, that was a journey. An 8 and completely misses you. And Iggy will try to latch onto Teague once more, being the larger target.
You have disadvantage.
Right. I don't think I get lower than that, but I will roll. Yeah. So as an 8, just completely misses. And yeah, they seem to be very, very hungry and not caring about their dead brethren, as it were. So that is their turn. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay. So now it is Basha's turn.
Yeah. I'm debating if I want to use a second level spell to really save those. Yeah, but oh well. I'm gonna cast Magic Missile at 2nd level and go for Sturge King and the 3 skeletons and just try and, just hit all of them.
Okay, what level again?
2nd level, so
Nice.
4 bolts.
Yeah, go for it.
I will say that if you hit any of the baby sturges, you will kill them instantly.
Shoot, that's true.
If you want to clear that out of our way.
You do what you like, but popping those guys, because those can sneak in and just keep on sucking blood.
How many are left though?
There's
'Cause I
2.
Okay, so yeah, so why don't I do Sturge King. I hate all the bloodsuckers, so I'm gonna go for all the bad avocados here. So I'm gonna go for all 3 Sturges, and I guess I'll go for the skeleton bee that Bocek was already hitting on, yeah. Just so
Hello,
that way.
have you come here lately? Would you like some beer?
Nice rib cage. Do you come here often?
Is it really just 1d4 per hit? That seems really low.
It's 1d4 plus 1.
Hit. But they
Yeah,
never
1d4.
miss.
Yeah, okay.
So it's
True. Okay, so I guess I'll do each one in order. So the Sturge, since I'm, from the way I'm looking, Sturge King gets 5 damage. The one that is
Okay.
the
Sturge
one that
King
is
gets
still
5.
on Teague gets 3.
Instantly done. Splatters.
The one that is still on Bocek gets 5. That is
Another.
the Sturge, not the skeleton. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Come on.
And then Skelly Boy gets 4.
All right. Which one? Which skeleton?
Oh, B.
B. All right.
Bartholomew.
You said 4?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty. Yeah. So for the moment, it seems as if the smaller Sturges are no longer a threat. However, the Sturge King and the 3 skeletons still continue to be a threat. So that is there anything else you want to do?
Nah, that's it. I might take. You know what? I'm gonna take. No, they're within my range. Never mind. I'm gonna stay right where I am.
Okay. Alrighty. So with that, second, it is now Drovar's turn.
Okay. I'm going to use that advantage that I have received from our viewers. And I would like to use the boots to leap up and take a swing at the Sturge King, because that thing's just got to go.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I'm switching to the Great Axe for this. I think probably Archibald, the orc skeleton, will get a swing on me as I go by.
Okay.
But I'm willing to take the hit.
Okay, sure.
Or, the possible hit.
No problem. All right. So yeah, he will take. He'll take that attack of opportunity.
Okay.
So that is going to be. Second. shit. Yeah, 12 doesn't hit you. So
No, it does not.
yeah, just
So, and I just leap up, and these boots, and it's like spring-heeled Jack. I'm just, like way higher than I should, and just come up, and just as I'm just reaching the top of the arc, I just bring the axe down and try to cut through the Sturge King. So with advantage. And 18?
18 does hit.
Okay. Minimum damage, so 9.
9. Okay. Yeah, it's taking the damage, and you're seeing its body just take the cuts, and blood is just starting to pour from it. And it looks like it's gonna probably get ready to kind of get higher, but you're all still just like going at it, and it's taking all of those hits.
Okay, and as
It's looking rough.
With my ancestral guardian, the first creature you hit with an attack in your turn, so it has disadvantage on any attack. Now I'm like, look, me,
Yeah.
trying to get its attention.
All right, excellent. So now it is the skeleton's turn. So with that, let's see. So we'll call that one, we'll say Al. Yeah. Al's going to take a swipe. That's the orcish skeleton. He's going to take a swipe at you, Bocek. Because you are right there. And that is going to be a 7. I'm going to use one of my inspirations. Clear that up. Okay. And give that another go as Al swings at you again. And that's not much better. That's an 11. Just swings and a miss.
Bocek is having a very good day.
Yes, he is. And Bert is going to take a swing at Drovar, as he's right there, and that is going to be the 23 to hit.
Oh, 23, yeah.
Yeah. As you can see, he's swinging this. They all seem to have like these rusted short swords in their hands. Very, very jagged, rusted. Just looks like it could probably fall apart at any moment. And you take 3 piercing halved to 1. You get 1 damage, 1 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then we're gonna say this one is actually going to run around you guys. 1, 2, 3. So there's no attack of opportunity, and that one is going to swing at Basha.
I can't wait to shield this.
And that is going to be. I'm going to use my last inspiration for the evening because, damn it, I can't roll to save my life here. 19 to hit.
It will hit, but I am going to shield, so I'm going to raise up my glass staff and woo!
Okay.
So that's... Oh, wait,
Well-
it'll still hit, so there's no point.
Oh.
Because it's 30 and 19. Because
You
beating
would-
is beating, right?
You would know that, so
I'm not gonna waste the charge. Yeah, I
Okay.
would know that. I'm gonna be like, this is going to hurt. Okay.
Okay.
Ah!
And it hits you for 7 piercing damage.
Ow! Why you poke me? That hurts, Skelly boy.
It seems like it's trying to talk, but it's just, his jaw is just rattling together, and you see like teeth actually starting to fall away, and the bones just
We
cracking.
could have had something here. We could have been friends. This is really annoying.
The attempt to talk is even creepier than them saying absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it
No,
kind of is.
No, don't speak.
Alrighty. So back to the top of the round. That is Gorple. Can't hear you.
I
Can't
mean,
hear
I
you.
can't hear you.
I kind of drop my swords and I pull out my barbed net and I rub my bloody hand across some of the barbs and I call the true name of the wind as I leap back. So I'm essentially going to just, since it's half my movement, but I have a 55 speed now, I want to leap up 20 or 10 feet, but
Mhm.
stay like out of range of every creature, but also be within 10 feet of that creature.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't provoke with Zephyr Strike, so that's why I'm trying something weird.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's right. I would say make me your choice: acrobatics or athletics check.
We're gonna say, I believe, acrobatics. 21.
21. Yeah. Without issue, you just leap into the air, holding your barbed net.
And I will hurl it at the Sturge King.
Okay.
I'll get your proboscis. It'll be mine. As I hurl it. AC 19.
That will hit.
All right, 6 piercing, 5 force. And then I also need you to make me a con save, DC 12.
Okay. Con save will be a 17.
He's not poisoned, but he is restrained, and therefore he drops to the floor those 10 feet because
Mhm.
he can't fly anymore.
Yeah, and so he will take bludgeoning damage. Wow. Okay, so you leap through the air, throw the net. As you throw the net, it does latch on and close around it, and you can hear and it hits the ground, and it looks like it's unmoving just for a moment, and then as you get a little closer, it's still alive, barely like hanging on by a thread, but it is still twitching and trying to get out of this thing.
So I'll land in the same space as Teague with like a 3-point landing with my short swords on the floor, but I currently have no weapons and Teague takes a dodge action.
Okay.
Actually, Teague will move and take the dodge action.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty.
Just to help her check out.
Sounds good. Alrighty. It is now the Sturge King's turn. It is going to do the only thing it can do at this point. We're going to see if it recharges its waking screech. Holy shit, it gets it back. Yeah, it goes. And it will. You watch as 2 more skeletons rise from the pile.
What?
These seem to also be 2 more dwarven skeletons. Actually, 1 dwarven skeleton and 1 gnomish skeleton.
Oh, so cute.
It's so tiny. We keep it as pets.
We do not. We do not.
I'll check.
I would like to punt it.
Yes.
And as they rise from the pile, they're going to take the same initiative as the others. And yeah, that's all it can do, as it is just writhing in the net, trying to just figure out a way to get out, but it can't do anything but what it just did. Bocek, it's now your turn.
I would like to take a swing at the Sturge King.
All right, you have advantage. It is prone, restrained, and you are above it. Go for it.
21.
21. How would you like to kill the Sturge King?
So I would like to put one hand on its back and the other hand on its proboscis and just rip, and as I finish ripping, be handing it to Warple.
Yeah. You just easy enough. I mean, it's not going anywhere. You kind of put your big paw right on the back of its neck, and you just grab the proboscis and you just pull, and you just all hear this meaty ripping sound as it just comes up, and there's just the gore is just hanging off of the back of it as he just hands it to you, Gorple. It is a proboscis.
Here you go. Maybe strap to back before we bring to Smith guy.
And the Sturge King is no longer an issue.
I'm guessing the undead are still around. They don't.
Oh, yeah.
Disappear.
Yeah, no, they are still up.
I turn to Billy Bob, whatever his name is, and I go, Isn't it annoying when like major threat is gone and boss is gone and minions stay around and now you just have to play cleanup? And I'm just going to punch him in the skull.
Go for it.
16 to hit.
That does hit.
9 bludgeoning. I am specifically attacking with my elbows and trying to avoid hitting them with anything necrotic.
Okay. Yeah, you hit him with the elbow and it shatters into dust. He had already taken some damage prior, so that definitely helped. But yeah, it is now shuttered on the ground, no longer a threat. Back to being a pile of bones. All right. Next is there anything else you want to do? You have movement?
Nah, I'm good.
You're good? Okay. All righty. Warple, you're up.
Didn't I just go?
Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second. Yeah, sorry. I looked wrong. Drovar, you're up.
Okay. Well, I was gonna try to kill the Sturge King myself, but I'm glad it's over. I just turn around and look at this dwarf skeleton and just, sorry, brother, and take a swing at him.
All right. So it's D.
Natural 20.
That does hit. Oh, C. Okay.
It's slashing damage, so I don't know if this is all going to go through, but I just want to see what the number's going to be. 20 damage.
It goes right through the scraps of leather and bits of chainmail that are left, and it just explodes under the sheer force of your strike.
At least your second end was spectacular. And I will step into the square that it was, and that's it.
All right. So, all right. It is now the skeleton's turn. D. We're just gonna call him D because D's a nickname too. D's a nice name too. He's gonna take a swing at you, Bocek. That is going to be a 14 to hit.
Does not hit.
Yeah. You just kind of like smack it to the side, and it just kind of looks at you. The orcish skeleton is going to swing at you, Drovar.
Okay.
All right, and that is going to be a 10 to hit. Misses. And then the gnomish skeleton will run up with its tiny little short sword, which looks like a dagger in its hand, but it is a short sword, and we'll try and hit you for. Doesn't hit you 6 damage. Not 6 damage. Just for 6. Doesn't hit you.
Oh please, just come on.
It's a little sad.
Yourself for the one. Come on.
It's a little sad. So that's all their turn. Gorple, it's now your turn.
All right. I whistle to Teague, and Teague will charge D.
Okay.
AC 22.
That definitely hits.
5 slashing, but I need you to make me a DC 12 strength save.
All right. That's gonna be a 4.
He's not prone and takes an additional 3 slashing.
3 slashing.
As Teague, clever girl, says dude down.
All right, yeah. He just drops to the ground, still kind of chittering, but is now on the ground. Some of its bones have already like just fallen away from the sheer savagery of Teague's attack, but it's still moving and looking like it's getting ready to get back up.
So I look between Drovar and Bocek, and I pull out my boomerang, and I go, boomerang, as I thread the needle to hit A.
All right, go for it.
AC 19.
That does hit.
That'll be 5 bludgeoning.
5 bludgeoning. As it's kind of turning and trying to get back up, you hit it with the boomerang, and the skull just shatters as the boomerang hits the ground right where it was, and it's no longer moving.
I just go fetch.
Alrighty. So yeah, that's your turn. Okay. You still have movement if you want to take it.
I'm good.
Okay. No worries. All right. So next up is Basha.
All right. A first level magic missile. All 3 of these skeleton boys.
There's only 2 left.
Oh. Well then I wait, really? There's the baby one's not still there?
Yeah.
No, the gnome is still
How
there.
did I miss that?
Yeah. It's the
I see that one just got killed. Okay.
Yeah. The orcish one and the gnomish one are up.
Okay, well, since first roll only got a 2. Wait, is that right? Is it +1? It's +1. Yeah. The first roll only got a 2 for the little guy, so
okay.
I'm gonna roll another one for him just because I can. So
okay.
Now that's +5 also.
Another 5?
And, yeah.
Okay.
And then big guy gets 5 total.
Okay. Yeah, that you just see as the darts. So again, they're like these snowballs covered in ice, just bones shattering. Rib on their rib cages are just kind of like falling away, and you can actually see like as the ribs are breaking and falling away, what armor they were actually, what little pieces of armor they were wearing are now falling apart, and you can also now just see like the spine. You can just see the spine and the insides of their chests, but they're still up. Do you want to move, or are you gonna say where you're at?
I'm going to stay here and just sing Tavern Loaf's greatest hits in this corner. That's fine.
Okay, Bocek, you're up.
You took the meat right out of my hands. It must have been while you were punching me. It's fine.
Nice. You know what? Inspiration. I'm gonna give you inspiration for that.
Yay!
That was great. That was great. I'm gonna give you inspiration
I
for that.
almost closed the page. Thank you.
That was great.
So I'm going to punch the orcish skeleton.
Okay.
$27 to hit.
That definitely hits.
I'm sorry, 26.
Oh no. Well, of course. Yeah, it hits. Yeah, it's still.
And that's 8 bludgeoning.
8 bludgeoning. Yeah. It explodes. From the damage you give it. I mean, it's just like it starts at the skull and just like the neck and the whole spine just falls away and falls into a pile of bones in front of it.
All right, and then I'm going to spend the rest of my turn picking up the boomerang and giving it back to Gorple because he said fetch.
Okay. All right, yeah. So you pick it up and you're getting ready to give it back to him.
Teague looks really sad.
Teague has a higher intelligence than I do.
It's true.
All right. Okay, you're handing it off, getting ready to hand it to him. No problem. Drovar, it's now your turn.
Teague's thinking, this guy's gonna take me out of my job. Master can ride him too. Oh man. Drovar just like comes up to the little one's like, shh, shh, and just puts the axe into it.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, 27 to hit.
That definitely hits.
18 damage.
How would you like to kill this tiny gnomish skeleton?
Basically, I just kind of pin it to the ground with the flat of the axe and just stand on the blade and just like step down. It's like, no, stop. My whole weight just kind of shatters the skeleton.
Yeah, and just
skeleton.
I'm sorry. That was no.
And you all stand there for a moment, just taking everything in, looking up at the ceiling, looking all around. And you seem to be out of harm's way in the moment. And we are now out of initiative.
Basha's just gonna immediately take one of the vials of oil out of her bag and be like, Bolchek, stand back, and just pour it over all the rest of these skeletons.
No, stop. Don't.
Why? All right, do you want to search them first?
Yeah, and I retrieve my net so it's not soaked in oil.
Yeah, okay.
Stop it. Stop being so crazy.
I'm going to burn them as soon as we are done searching.
Hey guys,
Yes?
I just noticed. This place sucks.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
It's awful.
First we have the weird dead guy. Well, no, first we have dead guy, dead brother. Then we have dead things. Then we have bad jelly, and now we have mosquito, bad avocados, and skeletons that
giant
just come into life.
fucking forbidden avocado.
That's the worst one.
That
I hope that is last.
That is a new one. I've never even imagined those fuckers could do that. I'll take a look at the carcass of the thing. Gorp took the proboscis, but it's like, okay, where did the noise come from? That it made that noise? Was there like something in its throat or something? It's like that actually makes the dead wake up. It's like, okay, that's got to be a thing.
All right, so you go make a medicine check for me as you're trying to find whatever this was.
Yeah, I want to make an Aztec death whistle out of whatever its throat thing is. That sounds awesome.
Gene has one. Don't encourage him.
Oh, I have one too.
19 for a 19.
That's pretty good. So as Gorple pulls the net off, and again, Gorple, your net is pretty bloody, obviously, because of the the little job that Bolchek did for you. You start to inspect the body, Drovar, and you're kind of going like where its head is, and it looks like where the throat is. There is this like large bone with, it looks like these like 4 holes in it. and and again, you're not too sure about like the the sturge anatomy. You're not an expert by any means, but there's a good chance that sturges that get this size, like they probably all have this. It looks natural. It doesn't look like it's some kind of abnormality or something like that. But it just looks like, this, it gets to this size and this bone is natural. This is definitely where the air was passing through and how the noise is probably made. But the whole raising of the dead part, you're not 100% sure. It's like you don't find any like abnormalities. It looks like a sturge, just immense. Yeah, just immense. But outside of that, you're unsure. Maybe it's magical in nature.
I take this thing, I take that bone or whatever out.
Yeah.
Rinse it off with a little water, and it's like, is there anything magical about this? I mean, how the hell did it get the skeletons to wake up? Not seeing anything green, pulsing, or evil about this thing. But
interesting.
Look at it.
Interesting though, as you're kind of pulling it, like from the blood of the sturge itself, just kind of like drips away from the bone. The bone looks immaculate, like it was stripped. Like there's no muscle, there's nothing. As you kind of pulling it away, the blood and any bone or tendons that were attached to it just kind of very easily and quickly just fall away from it. And it looks like a very clean bone, like somebody just like professionally cleaned this and polished it. It's very odd now. Now that you have taken it out, that's weird.
Basha's gonna sigh and hold out her hands and be like, give me 10 minutes, I'll look at it.
Sure.
Why don't we finish lighting those braziers? Maybe it is a place of protection, and because of what happened, it wasn't working. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like we lit it and then it came, but okay, you can do that.
Well, we started lighting them.
Yeah, you only got to put the oil in. You didn't actually light them yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So
all right.
I'll light two.
Light,
I'll start lighting some
I'll
of them. We'll get those. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you begin lighting the lanterns, and it does light it up, and you can actually see now the raised reliefs carved into the walls a lot clearer. And it's odd. This is definitely like there was importance placed in this area. But again, you're kind of unsure at this point what that means. You probably have to explore a little more to maybe put the pieces together.
Does it seem to have a sequence to it? Like if you start at one spot and then you see it's like, oh, the same people, but now they're digging in the cave. It's like first they find it, then they're digging. Is there any sense that if you kind of look at it in a certain order, there's a story here? Like this is displaying.
No, they all seem to be. It all seems to be the same relief, just kind of extended, and like you have basically the same 6 or 7 figures, and then they continue until it's kind of spread along the walls. I will say just because of your dwarven upbringing, the importance placed in this area, it definitely seems like this was an area made to impress people, just by the way the floor is actually finished, the walls are carved. Like this was a place that definitely people probably passed through here a lot and looked at these things on a regular basis. But outside of that, you're kind of unsure like what this may mean. Basha, as you are setting up your ritual and finishing that up, 10 minutes go by and you hear Jan's voice in your head.
Oh, that's a very interesting little bone. It is not a made thing, it is a natural, obviously. It was the throat bone of that large sturge thing. But there is necrotic magic that is surging through it. It is very, very interesting. The magic itself does not seem to have actually been purposely placed there. It almost seems like it was over time. It filled this creature probably with this necrotic energy, and for whatever reason, it took the core of it is within this bone.
So I was gonna do, I can do detect magic, but what I was gonna do, is that with the identify, that's all I get with that, or that's
because
okay.
it's not necessarily an item, but it's definitely like there is necrotic magic energies that are just kind of like surging through this bone, which now kind of it seems like that's probably what caused the Sturge King to be able to seemingly summon the undead.
So basically, I think this creature was here so long that it like gave it some sort of necrotic power. So there's like necrotic magic in this, but I don't know if it'll necessarily do anything. We should definitely give it to Grimborn because he can do something with it, or I can give it to Wizards.
What I was thinking, it's like, what can he do with it? I mean, it's not like, I want to go around raising the dead or anything, but maybe it'll make it harder for the Walking Dead to hurt someone.
I mean, I don't really like the dead, but I know how to play a horn.
Well, I mean, if I'd be afraid if you tried like blowing through this right now, we're gonna wake up more of those things. So,
the fight was really quick. Was there any sense that these skeletons that got up were obeying the Sturge, or would have attacked it too?
I would say make an insight check.
Can any of us do that?
Yeah, any of you can make an insight check. Yeah. Two? Okay.
17 for me.
Okay. Bocek?
7.
7. Okay. Basha?
I didn't do much better. I rolled an 8 because I'm too busy staring at this bone. Like, this is a nice bone.
Okay. Yeah. Bocek, you're not trying to figure anything out. You're still looking for these avocados, making sure these avocados don't come down from the ceiling again. Drovar, you're just freaked out by the size of this thing. Like seeing it this large, sturges are disturbing looking. Like they are not. I mean, they're annoying as it is tiny, but now that you've seen one this big and you can actually see details, it's pretty unnerving. Corporal, you do recall just briefly, like during the whole heat of the battle, when the Sturge King actually, the first time it actually, screeched and used this waking screech ability, and the skeletons did rise. They did seem turned in its direction, seemingly like waiting for it to do something or possibly to order it. But then once it was dead, they seemed to just kind of go on their own accord.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to at least be following the call and the sound of whatever that thing was, but when it died, they became just animated skeletons. I mean, I'll listen. I don't like the undead, but if this is a tool that can be used, especially if this place is full of bones, I'll use it. This was horrible. This place is terrible, and if it doesn't do anything, who the fuck cares? But if it does do something that can help us, we're only 4 people, and we're going into a place we have no idea, and we've already been hurt by a lot of these creatures.
Yep, I'm actually pretty hurt. I should probably take care of
that. Well, these things took a little nip out of me as well.
Warple, you take this.
I take a look at it. I mean,
you want to
dug the thing out. I'll take it. Yeah, sure. Hold the thing up and look at it. Like, so there's like all these sort of holes in it. So does it have kind of a whistle sort of look to it? Like you could blow air through it?
Yeah, it's actually it's almost like a cone. But the bone itself, like at the top of it, there are these like 4 holes It's hollow in the middle, and then at the end of the cone, there's just like a tiny little hole. So you're not sure which way you could blow it or which way, but one hole at the end of the cone, and then at the top where it's wider are the 4 holes in the top of it.
I really want to just try this once while we got the bones here, just to see if anything happens. I feel bad about it, but we good to know. Everyone, I'll tell them not to attack anyone, but just beat them up if anything gets up, I suppose. We good with that, or?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, I certainly want nothing to do with it. I mean, I'm not about necromantic stuff, so you can have it. I don't want it.
All right.
Bocek puts his gloves behind his back.
Which side are you blowing?
I'm trying to remember how I pulled the thing out of its body. Was it
Okay. The cone
back at its body, and
the cone seemed to be going inwards, like towards its abdomen.
so the tip is down to, like towards the lung cavity.
Yeah.
Okay, I will blow it out that way.
Okay.
So that's
It's
All right.
a vuvuzela.
So I need you to make a wisdom
What's it?
check.
Goblin?
I need you to make a wisdom check for me.
oh dear.
All of us or just him?
No, just Drovar.
A wisdom check.
Check.
Okay.
Just roll d20 and add your wisdom modifier.
11.
11. You blow, and as you blow, there's this god awful sound that doesn't sound anything like what you heard this creature do, and it just all of a sudden echoes throughout the cavern for a moment, and then you hear almost in response the thunder of the Wave Echo Cave, but nothing.
Okay. Well,
You
that's
want-
interesting.
Do you want me to try, Drovar? You didn't purse your lips right.
What do you know about lips? You're a frog.
I can blow a horn.
Yeah, I'd hand it to him and just go sulk in a corner.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna examine it, kind of like looking through it, looking through the holes. And I imagine that we make instruments out of bones, and we
Mhm.
make them out of these kind of like, like the Aztec death whistle from like the things. So I'll kind of examine it,
Mhm.
and then I'll see. Does it seem like it operates like a whistle or horn?
Make a general intelligence check for me.
That's a 20.
20. These holes mean something. You're not sure. And there's probably a good chance that where Bocek ripped the front of its face off, that there might have been some fleshy parts that might have covered some of the holes, or maybe was able to move around the holes. And so you figure maybe I should do that, like a
Okay.
flute
So
almost.
I'll take one of those like big extending my like frog bottom, and I'll begin to like gently blow and cover the holes until I can try to figure out a sound similar to how it did.
Make a wisdom check for me, please.
Do I get that proficiency because I am trained in horn?
No, because this is something different.
17.
All right, 17. So you begin to kind of like very lightly, just kind of blow it a little, putting your fingers by the holes just to kind of see. And then you find that putting 2 of your fingers on 2 of the side holes kind of almost made a similar sound. So that's when you actually get ready to blow. And as you blow, you hear, "Ah!" which is very, very similar to what the Sturge King sounded like. And as you do, you feel your will kind of connect to the bone for a moment, and then the sound itself, you can feel the sound reverberate. I need you to roll a d4 for me.
It makes sense. I rolled a 1.
The one, you watch as a small gnomish skeleton begins to raise from the pile. And as it does, it pulls a short sword from the pile of bones that's there, and it just stands there looking at you.
I go, protect us, protect us, protect us, protect us, protect us. Really fast. Hoping that I'm willing, like, oh, protect us, don't hurt us.
Yeah, and you can actually feel your will connected to this skeleton for the next hour. As long as you're technically concentrating at this point on keeping it controlled. So for the next hour, you can basically tell it to attack, defend, use the help action, anything like you could do with a pet, essentially.
So I have good news and bad news.
Okay.
Good news, I can tell why necromancers love doing what they do. Bad news, I still hate it.
Oh no, it's definitely very hateable. So it listens to you.
Well, I mean, it kind of reminds me of when I call the true names of things. It just seems to be on a different frequency. So this instrument is kind of like how Basha steals names.
What?
It like focuses the sound to do it.
Why's it gotta be about me? What is this?
I mean, it's not what I do normally, but it looks like this device kind of seems like an amplifier or something that like changes how you sound. Like I couldn't make that sound naturally.
Well,
But this device I could. I guess it's like a wand, fine, not a name stealing thing. It's more like a wand.
Oh, now using names I understand. Okay, alright. Well, what do we do with Gnomish Pet?
Well, as long as I concentrate, he seems to be under my control, but I don't know how long that lasts.
Maybe we shouldn't let them have the
What
sword.
happens when their control lapses? Does it just turn and homicidal maniac on us, or just fall apart?
I don't know. I could stop concentrating if you want to get ready to punch the shit out of it.
Yeah, that works. Yep.
I have Firebolt ready
All right.
to go.
Walk up right next to it and just
Get ready. Okay, and I will kind of like try to drop my will on it.
Okay, yeah, you purposely begin to pull your will back, and as you feel that connection break, it just, and it's going to try and attack you. It's going to try and attack you at being the first person that it sees.
yeah, definitely take the swing now to try to just put it down.
Okay. Well, I will say everybody was getting ready to hit it anyway as a reaction. So you guys can you don't even have to roll. You just all beat down this small little skeleton until it before it can even take its first swing.
To be fair, as small as he was coming right for us. We did what we did in self-defense, and no court would convict us.
I know, but it was sad. I liked that we had little gnome skeleton friend. It was nice for like a minute.
I mean,
We perform.
I figured out how it works,
I'm rather.
but I don't want this anymore.
All right, I'll take it. See if the blacksmith can do something with it. Hey, maybe you can find a way to use it to turn them off.
Or like a sound that pushes them away.
Oh, I've seen clerics do that occasionally. They'll get up and go, "Be gone," and they all actually listen to them.
That makes more sense than what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
Oh, it's hard to make a skeleton not have a bone, speaking of turning them off.
That was funny. I enjoyed. 10 out of 10. Your joke again.
Do we want to go into that terrible bone room? Maybe close the doors, and rest for like an hour, patch up our wounds.
Oh, we could go back to the main chamber that we started from. That's just down to the west there. We go back to the room we started in. We've made a loop.
I mean, or we can explore more, but I'm a little hurt, so is Teague. Yeah,
Me
some
too.
of us look pretty bad.
Hey,
Yeah, definitely.
still bleeding.
definitely a short rest wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't say no to it myself. So I think they were probably that room up there that we came in. It's not anything that comes after us has to climb up after us. It's a better defensive position, I think.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
you all could take rest and I take watch. I had a very lucky day and like fucking two things hit me.
All right, so you guys you're all going to make your way back to the chamber where you first started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, you're right by the southeastern entrance, so you can very easily make your way back there. Use the rope, climb up, except for Gorple, who will just climb himself up. And you can absolutely take a short rest there if you like. And I will say roll whatever hit dice you may need to heal yourself up currently. And that is where we're going to call it for the evening.
Okay.
So you have begun your excavation into the Lost Mine. Have made your way into some of the interesting areas, finding also the unfortunate denizens within as well. But you have now found out that there are some errant magics here as well. And who knows what your further explorations will find as we come back next week. So good game, everybody.
Yay!
That was good. That was awesome. That's a lot of fighting.
That was.
2 out of 3 crits ain't bad. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Thank you for running for us. That was neat.
Yeah, no, that was so
Very
much
good.
fun. That was so much fun. All right. So yeah, thank you everybody for sticking with us, watching the craziness of the actual Lost Mine. We are actually there, folks. I'm going to do a few quick shout outs for folks. We actually had 2 folks follow us in between streams. So thank you, Beasterwood 2007 for the follow, and Flangeldorf. Thank you also for the follow. That's a great name. I love that name. But thank you so much, Flangeldorf, and thank you everybody for joining us again. And it is so good to be back. So happy we are back, folks. Everybody who bought inspirations for us, thank you so much. Ocelotus, thank you so much for the 500 bits. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Everybody who purchased inspirations, thank you as well. Those were very helpful in some instances, not so much in mine. But for those that were not used, you are currently getting your channel points back. But thank you for the thought and for the buying of inspirations. So just as a reminder, tomorrow there is no Wildmount campaign. We will be back with our Wildmount campaign next Thursday. So tomorrow is the night off. But there will be Friday Night Magic this Friday as Arena drops the Forgotten Realms set almost 3 weeks before the actual paper card set comes out. So that's going to be so much fun because the card paper set comes out on the 23rd. So tomorrow it's going to drop. Friday, I am going to open 50 packs to see what I get. And then we're going to build some crazy ass decks and we're going to have some damn fun. I am crossing my fingers for a Drist card because if I get a Drist card, I'm going to build my whole deck around Drist because I love him.
His like card is kind of stupidly ridiculous.
Yeah. And there are some other cards that I saw that dropped with in green white that like are like a nice symbiosis with him. Ooh, crazy stuff. But anyway, Friday Night Magic will be happening this Friday. And then again, Monster Hearts 2, our session 5 of 6 is happening this Monday. So please join us for that as well. if you are interested in the horror genre, that's a good way to go. Because we're only got two more of those sessions to go before we're done. And then that's it. So thank you again so much, everybody, for joining us. We, as always, we're going to close and we are going to share the love and raid someone else. Let's see who we can raid this evening. Who we have? Okay. Actually, so you know what? We're going to close out for the evening. Stand by and hold on. We're going to raid and share that love. Remember to please, please, please be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Let's continue to support and uplift each other, because that's how we get through everything, especially the craziness that's still happening. And, you know, the last couple of weeks, we've had heat waves. We've got a hurricane before we went to stream, like hurricane, thunderstorms, the crazy weather. Let's all remember, let's check on each other, make sure that, you know, people that we know, people that we care about are doing well. We hope that you're doing well. Thank you for spending your time with us. We will see you next time. We love you all very much. Take care.